Tonight's guests are Scott Brusch and Bill Chappie.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and beating. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. What a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the action.
We're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Hello, everyone out there.
It's been a weird day today.
Very much so.
Untoldians. I just got a call that Yvette's father was in a severe rollover accident up in Canada. And he walked away unscathed, but everybody else serious,
Oh, that's terrible.
like body cast serious. So, and I know you had some bad news today too.
Yeah, a friend of mine passed away this morning.
Yeah. So not fun.
Not fun at all.
But anyhow, we'll carry on.
Power through it.
It's episode 307
307, yeah.
on this very sultry, hot, humid night. I think it's probably hot everywhere.
Yeah, it's gross outside. I haven't gone outside hardly at all this couple days. It's no fun.
Well, I can see you haven't shaved.
I have not shaved in, I don't know, about 3 weeks now.
Okay.
I think this is a 3-week beard.
It's a
And
3-week
I
beard.
trimmed it today, too.
Yeah, that would be a lifetime beard for me.
Not hard for me to grow a beard.
Oh God, yeah, I can grow one, but it comes out like all different colors. It's like black.
Well, mine used to be black. I missed that. I used to have black hair, and not anymore.
Oh.
Very pretty young.
Well, that's what happens. You've lost the coloring.
I guess.
It leaves one day.
Yeah, I started getting pretty gray in my 30s. Actually.
Yeah.
I'm 50. How old am I? I'm 54 now. So.
For me, it was 18.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It was like 18. All right. So we have two great guests. We have Scott Brusch and Bill Chappie on tonight.
Nice
Both
guys.
both are Midwestern researchers. Researchers. Did I say that? Researchers who focus.
Something like that.
Yeah, they focus on something kind of especially unsettling, and that's strange encounters in our own backyard, like in urban areas, the edge of our parks, the backside of Walmart, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So the suburbs. So we're going to be talking about strange encounters in and around urban areas. Their research takes them into reports of Bigfoot, Dogman, and other unexplained creatures. There you go.
Oh, look forward to talking to him.
Yeah. So, so if you have a Bigfoot sighting near highways, businesses, you're not crazy.
Nope.
It's a real thing. They punch in. I think monsters and creatures feel safer in the suburbs. There's no guns. There's no guns. There's no hunting.
No hunting. There's
Dogs
food, water.
Dogs are on leashes. So there you go. What else we've got? So I guess we're just going to do, I've got tech breakdown. We don't have clips tonight, but we do have tech breakdown. We have our weird and fast news.
Got a weird fact of the week.
And weird fact of the week.
When else we did that?
Yeah, it has. I don't know why. But we've been smoked out. My lungs are still burning from the other.
It was rough.
Today was a little better.
Yeah.
Today, and then yesterday was okay, but the day before it was bad.
Yeah.
I had to work out in that crap, and my lungs literally were just burning. Like you could feel a burn.
Yep.
It was not fun. So I'm still a little bit kind of weird. And we're not the only ones. I mean, they've been getting it all over the U.S.
Way worse north of here. I was in Duluth early this week, and it was really bad up there.
Yeah.
Folks are up on the range. It's bad up on the range, on the Iron Range. Minnesota's Iron Range, for those who don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it makes for pretty sunsets, but
yeah,
it's not good for our lungs.
Nope.
All right, so you're definitely going to want to grab a comfy chair, dim the lights, definitely lock the doors, double check them, all the doors, the windows, lock them. And to get ready for a few chills and goosebumps, I think, tonight with these guys.
Get your Squatch bait outside, too.
Yes.
Get your Squatch bait out and ready.
Oh, man. I do, and I think about the urban encounters that I have with wildlife. It's shocking. We literally had to battle off a big wild turkey the other day.
They get aggressive.
Yeah, they do.
Aggressive.
It's like parked right on the bike trail going, you're not passing. Not without a fight.
Yeah.
And we've got bears running around all over our neighborhood. Things have changed. And coyotes, things have changed.
I mean,
it's
deer
good.
And rabbits aren't even remarkable anymore. It's just, you see
oh my God. I think we see a rabbit like every 15 foot, Jeff.
Oh yeah. They're everywhere.
It's
and I live in a city. I live in Anoka, and there's rabbits everywhere in town.
What do you think's happened? The rabbits.
Rabbits. They're good at making more rabbits.
And there's been plenty of hawks and eagles to prey, on the rabbits. So I don't know. Something's out of balance.
Seems like it.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I think I covered everything. Let's hit it with our weird and fast news.
All right, let's do it.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
First off, scientists build a poop clock for monkeys. What the hell is a poop clock?
A poop clock? I don't have one of those.
No, you need one. I'll buy you one. Scientists can now estimate the biological age of wild monkeys without catching them or drawing blood. They only need fresh droppings. Researchers studying monkeys in Costa Rica developed a fecal, and you can say the word, epigenetic clock. See, that's what we're going to get you. You just poop in it, and it tells you how old you are every day. An epigenetic clock.
That reminds me, what's brown and sounds like a bell? Dung.
God.
Dad joke. Sorry, couldn't resist.
I heard a funny joke today, but I cannot repeat it. It says this method could reveal whether drought, habitat loss, stress, or poor nutrition causes wild animals to age faster. It may eventually lead or let conservationists to monitor the health of entire populations by walking through the forest with collection bags instead of tranquilizer darts. And that's a good thing.
That's so now if you're an intern on a field work, that's what you're going to be doing now is collecting monkey
Poop.
doo-doo.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I think it's cool that they can tell, obviously not only what species, but how old they are
Yeah.
by the poop.
Yep.
Who would have thought?
Well, you can tell a lot. That's you can tell a lot with you can.
So
tell
if
a lot
we
by
ever
first drop.
get our DNA results back, maybe they can age the animal
Yeah.
through DNA.
Yeah.
That would be nice. All right, next.
Next.
The air filter knows who was in the room. This is an article that appeared July 16, 3 days ago. Ordinary air filters are turning out to be an accidental DNA collection machine. Researchers can recover environmental DNA from trapped pollen, fungal spores, viruses, animal cells, and microscopic flakes. So maybe all we have to do is put in a filter out in the forest.
You get poop in the filter. Get a poop.
No. The dust, the body dust.
And poop.
What my buddy calls body dust. That we'd go into it like an older bar, and he'd always go, "Man, this place is full of a lot of body dust."
That's what most household dust is. A lot of it is.
Oh God.
Cells.
Okay. It says, anyhow, animal cells, microscopic flakes of human skin, create what amounts to a genetic record of everything that recently passed through the air. This could help scientists detect endangered animals, monitor pathogens, and survey biodiversity without seeing or capturing a single creature. But it also creates a creepy privacy question. A building's ventilation filter may quietly collect human genetic information from everyone
what
that
could go wrong?
enters. Yeah, that's interesting. Be careful where you go
Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy.
if you're a criminal. And then apparently an orange-lipped monkey roared into science here on July 16th. This is a brand new, officially identified as a striking new monkey species in the Democratic Republic of Congo called Colobus. And it's the second part is congenius or Lickwelly. Lickwelly?
Sure.
That's it.
The Lick Willy. Sure.
Just agree with me, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just say you pronounce that really good, Doug.
Perfect.
Yeah. Apparently, this thing has been collected by local communities. It has, like a Bigfoot, it's got glossy black fur, vivid orange lips, and a vocal repertoire that includes deep roars, grunts, and pig-like snorts. DNA analysis indicates it's an evolutionary line separated from its closest known relative roughly 5 million years ago. The monkey appears to occupy only a limited region of the Lomani National Park. So how did it stay hidden all these years?
Africa's a big place.
Well, I know, but it's got orange lips.
Yeah, you'd think you'd notice that, but
I just wonder how many people reported it before it was actually documented. That's what I want to know.
and would you believe it? I probably wouldn't.
How many, was this like a 30-year thing where people were reporting orange-lipped monkeys and nobody ever,
Nobody took it serious.
said, "Oh, yeah, right."
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So apparently the monkey appears to occupy only a limited region, like I mentioned. So researchers are already recommending that it be considered an endangered species because of hunting and habitat loss. So there you go. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the first African monkey, I think, discovered in a long time.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, how long do you think, Jeff?
Upwards of 3 years.
3?
I don't know.
I think it's 30.
Probably.
30
It's been a
years.
while.
All right, next. Kidneys and livers printed in outer space. Nice picture, Jeff, that you
I was up there this morning. Yeah.
that you took. Did you?
It was a rough day.
Whose ear is that laying on that petri dish?
I can't say.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Could be.
A bioprinter. Think about this. A bioprinter. It's like a 3D printer aboard the International Space Station reportedly produced kidney and liver tissue in orbit. The first time those multiple tissue types have been manufactured away from Earth. The system also produced cartilage samples and 28 experimental nerve repair implants before the materials were returned aboard SpaceX. It says microgravity allows cells to assemble without collapsing. And I could see a weightless condition would help that.
That would definitely, that would definitely help 3D printing. That never
Yeah.
occurred to me.
Especially for soft, really soft tissue.
Yeah.
It said they didn't collapse under their own weight, potentially creating smoother and more uniform tissue. So they'll be making hot dogs up in space soon. You think?
Let's not think about it too much.
Oh. All right, enough of that crap. Gross.
Next. It is gross.
Apparently African DNA survived 50,000 years.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Scientists recovered genetic material that from a roughly 50,000-year-old mountain reedbuck tooth discovered in South Africa's Boom Plaas Cave. Is that right? Boom Plaas Cave. It may be the old.
Right.
Thanks, Jeff, for your support, your pronunciation support. It said it may be the oldest DNA yet recovered from the sub-Saharan Africa, where heat and moisture were long assumed to destroy ancient genetic material.
Mm-hmm.
Researchers also obtained DNA from other Ice Age animals, including ancient buffalo and wildebeest. The discovery suggests that African caves and high-altitude sites may hold far more recoverable ancient DNA than previously believed. So there we go. Now we're going to be able to bring back everything.
Comment from Eric here. 50,000-year-old DNA is not uncommon. True, but that's mostly stuff from northern climates. The difference here, Eric, is that, if I'm understanding this right, is that it's coming from sub-Saharan Africa, which...
Yes.
Yeah. So, like DNA from...
Well, I even said that. It says researchers obtained DNA from other Ice Age animals, including ancient buffalo and wildebeest, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm just addressing Eric's comment there.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
You're wrong, Eric.
You're wrong. You're always wrong.
You're just wrong.
No, just joking. Eric's a smart guy.
He's a very smart guy, and he's usually right.
I'd say half the time. All right. Number 8. A lonely toad returns after 65 years. So apparently a male woodhouse toad has suddenly appeared at the Springs Preserve in Las Vegas. Now, what the hell is a toad doing in Las Vegas to begin with? For the first time since approximately 1962, cameras recorded this toad calling repeatedly for a mate. Where did they come from, Jeff? How do they declare something extinct in 1962 and then suddenly it reappears?
It's amazing. That's happened so many times.
There's a name for that. What do they call that again? There's a name.
There is a name. I can't remember what it is.
Starts with an L. Lazarus. A Lazarus animal. All right. It said this toad may be the first pioneer of returning population or simply the loneliest bachelor in Nevada. Either way, his arrival suggests that habitat restoration at the preserve may be recreating conditions suitable for wildlife that vanished. I don't get it. Where did it come from?
It's hiding somewhere. The
Well,
world's a place.
come on there. I mean, they had to be a breeding population. Do you think there's like a gen bank the aliens have, and they just like, oh, let's just drop one off again, a couple off?
There just had to be a isolated breeding population. I mean,
I know, but what about my theory?
sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Mine's way more fun.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. Could be.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is really interesting. And I know you took this picture. You did a great job.
Yep.
A bottle cap becomes a floating Noah's Ark.
This is pretty cool.
I know. This is cool. Scientists examining a single plastic bottle cap found near southern Japan discovered an astonishing, listen to this, 307 marine organisms living on or around it. The tiny passengers included barnacles, crustaceans, worms, including one, go ahead, Jeff,
I think it's
polychaete worm
believe.
species.
I could be wrong.
Well, I think you're wrong, but that's good. I like it. I like the way you said it. A polychaete worm species that has never, ever previously been recorded in Japanese waters. The discovery shows the ocean trash does more than pollute beaches. Floating plastic can become a miniature traveling ecosystem, carrying animals across huge distances and possibly introducing invasive species. So
Possibly.
there you go. I could see that, a bottle, stuff swims in it.
Sure.
floats
I mean, it could
across
happen with
the
a tree,
world.
a piece of wood. It could happen with anything.
But that picture is amazing.
It is. I was southern Japan this morning.
Yeah.
Flew up to the space ISS. Got
Yeah.
that last picture, and
Yeah. It's amazing. I
had a
love
busy
that.
day.
Yeah, it's been busy. And of course, I went to the lost city. You went to Japan. I went to the lost city
Mm-hmm.
to take this picture.
Delightful.
Yeah. It says a hidden furnace feeds the lost city. Oceans and extreme life is about, and this was just published 2 days ago. Scientists drilled approximately 1.3 kilometers beneath the Atlantic seafloor near the lost city's hydrothermal field and found extremely hot hydrogen-rich water that may be powering one of Earth's strangest ecosystems. Unlike familiar black smoker vents, Lost City's tall, pale towers support organisms using chemical energy rather than sunlight. The discovery suggests a hidden underground reservoir that's been feeding the vents from deep inside the Earth. And I don't really give a crap because I ain't going down there. Hello to Jeff.
Yeah, I said it's amazing.
Oh, it is amazing.
Yeah, there's completely unique stuff down there, and
Alien
it doesn't come to the surface. It's a completely different type of life. It's crazy.
Alien style ecosystem for sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
Life finds a way, as they say.
It does. All right, that's it for the news. Let's just do our quick, very, very weird fact of the week.
Weird fact of the week.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
How about a sea slug that cuts its own head off? Its own head, it just takes it off and grows a new body. Could you imagine?
That's strange.
That is weird.
That's a weird fact.
That is a weird fact.
It's the weirdest fact I've heard this week.
Oh my God. Or is it the body growing a new head, or is it the head growing a new body? We're going to find
both.
out. All right.
Amazing.
This sea slug cuts its own head and grows a new body. Two subspecies of the, oh my God, these words these scientists come up with. Say it again.
Sacaglossin.
Sacaglossin Good.
Sackaglasson sea slug.
Yes, it's the old Sackaglasson sea slug that
old
we all
thing.
know about and
Absolutely.
love. It apparently
Grandma
can
told me about that.
it can deliberately detach their own heads from their bodies. How they do it, I have no idea. The severed head remains alive, crawls around, begins feeding again, and then grows an entirely new body, including a new heart, new internal organs, and researchers think the extreme self-amputation may help the slugs escape internal parasites. So that's what you do. You get diarrhea, boosh,
Just get a new body.
new body.
Grow a new body.
Younger slugs regenerate successfully in roughly 3 weeks, while the discarded headless bodies never grew new heads. So heads grow bodies, bodies do not grow heads. Scientists suspect the head survives partly by using stolen chloroplast from algae, allowing it to temporarily gain energy from sunlight while rebuilding itself. So it cuts its own head off, grows a new body, and somehow avoids any hospital bills.
That's crazy.
None.
That's crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a weird fact. Good job.
Yeah.
It's a very weird fact.
Yeah, it was very weird. And then for our tech breakdown, I want to talk about a new old kind of radio. Do you remember the old Nextel phones?
Sure.
And you could push a button and just like, I remember we all had them at the office, and I could just call like one of my sales guys and just like bug them in the middle of the night, just like a walkie-talkie.
Yep.
But it was clear, it was always free of interference. Well, once again, I want to bring to your attention, which was brought to my attention again by Michael Waldy, the great Michael Waldy from Texas. He called and we were talking about technology, and he was talking about how great these radios were. And I said, can I do it for my tech breakdown? He said, yeah. So anyhow, this is what's called a rapid radio. And why would you want to use a rapid radio over a walkie-talkie? So it says rapid radios are basically nationwide walkie-talkies powered by cellular networks. There's no dialing, no ringing, and no cell phone app. You press the button, instantly talk privately to one person, or broadcast to everybody that's got one in your group, which could be great for an expedition. It says they can connect users thousands of miles apart, automatically search for major cellular networks, and they will support groups up to 200 people. And they deliver 5 days of standby power in a 2 radio set. Currently lists for, sit down, it's not cheap, $399. With the first year of service included, though. So you get 2 radios, $399, and you get the service for free for the 1 year. Otherwise, I believe it's like $50 a year for each radio. So it'd be $100 and per.
Yeah, you'd really need to have a lot of use for it to spend that much money.
Yeah.
Pretty neat, though.
I think so. I think, well, the advantages is it's obviously a cell phone, you kind of need to call somebody. And this avoids that. I could see this would be, for a little higher end expedition where everybody's really organized. This would be a nice addition.
We when I was up in Orr a couple of weeks ago with Brendan, we experimented with a mesh network. You had talked about that in a tech breakdown a while ago. We use they're tiny little gadgets, smaller than a cell phone. You can just text on them, but they don't need they need a wireless mesh network, which we did with Wi-Fi stuff, and I don't understand 100% yet, but it worked. I mean, we communicated, and it doesn't use cell phone, doesn't use cell, doesn't use radio waves, but we were able to text back and forth across the network for free.
And how far away could you be? You have to be within the wireless service.
Within the wireless.
Yeah.
Yeah, within the wireless, but it's pretty easy to maybe Brendan will I can't remember the details about it, but it's pretty easy to extend that network.
Very cool. Very cool. Anyhow, so if you have an interest in this, they do work good. Michael Waldy loves them.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
And I see on that bottom it says crapometer, 80% funk, 20% cellular dependent. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do we got now? I think we have Scott.
Scott's backstage, ready to
Hey,
go.
Scott,
In the green room.
you see you. Let's go ahead and play a sponsor commercial.
Okay.
A non-commercial. A
They're
non-sponsor
They're
commercial.
commercials, but they're cool ones. They're Hanger One commercials, so they're fun. They're worth watching.
All right.
All right,
Let's
we'll
go
be right
ahead.
back.
Yep.
The scream of the haunted house is heard. In the shadows, hear the call. Something's waiting in the hall. Open the door if you dare tonight. Stepping slow where the moon burns bright. Ghosts and secrets all come alive in the house where the dead still hide. The scream of the haunted house, a chilling ride you can't turn down. Get it and read it now. Written by Maxim W. Furyk. The Ghost Hunter's Bible. Available from Hanger One Publishing. Coming soon.
Phantom Grizzly offers an insider's view into the hidden world of bears, brimming with revelatory insights from a lifetime devoted to understanding them. Come face to face with bears through the eyes of an expert striving to transform our relationship with nature's most awe-inspiring inhabitants. If you're ready to venture far beyond the ordinary, to glimpse the wonder of bears in a whole new light, then this powerful book is waiting. Phantom Grizzly launches the 3-book Bear Communicator series, chronicling Dr. Stephen Stringham's extraordinary journey from fearful encounters to becoming one of North America's foremost bear researchers. Get the entire Phantom Grizzly set with Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3 right now. Only from Hanger One Publishing and Amazon.
All right, and we are back, and there's Doug.
I'm back too. It looks like we have Scott
Mm-hmm.
in the backstage area. Let me just quickly introduce Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Brusch is from Michigan. Same incredible environment as kind of Minnesota and Wisconsin, northern part.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very highly productive environment. Scott is an aspiring author, U.S. Air Force veteran. He's a gym rat. He's a Bigfoot field researcher and an amateur poet.
Cool.
And he's from Monroe, Michigan.
All right.
I don't know exactly. I think it's Upper Michigan, maybe. Do you know where Monroe is? We'll ask him.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's welcome Scott.
All right. Welcome, Scott. Here he is.
Scott.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. It's
Hey.
good to meet you.
You too. Thank you for the opportunity. I was like, no way. Doug Hajicek just said, "Come on my show."
Yeah, I did. I'm excited to have you on. Excited to have you on. I feel that there's probably maybe only 1% of the people I know nowadays in Bigfoot research. There was a time I knew everybody, like everybody. And you started at the top, guys like John Green and, Rick Knoll and all kind of the people that were in it before I was, Matt Moneymaker, guys like that, but there were so few. And now there's just a lot of people, which is great. But
competent, talented, hardworking, just really smart people.
There are
really high quality people. Lots.
Yeah. And I was excited to meet you, Scott. Okay. So you're from Michigan. Are you in the upper part or the lower?
Monroe was actually the lower part. I'm about 15 miles from the Toledo, Ohio border.
Oh, okay. And Ohio is also a good Bigfoot area.
Massively, yes.
Yeah. So just tell me about the area that you kind of focus on.
Honestly, I've always been a believer. Don't get me wrong. I've always thought Bigfoot can exist in mountains and all that stuff. It's not hard to fathom something living way out in the middle of the woods somewhere. Right. But when I had an experience like in more of like a city environment, like the back of the local park, 6 or 7 hiking trails, all of that connects to all the greenways of the farmers and stuff in the area. See, Monroe was like surrounded by plots of major land where a lot of the farmers are owned for generations. So a lot of that land all connects to Lake Erie, which connects to a lot of old trails that were used during the war. So these things can get around relatively effortlessly.
And, I'm really with you on this because there's so many advantages to be on the edges of, the urban areas. There's more food. There's more prey. And I always tell people when I go out on like floatplane trips where I get dropped off in the middle of the wilderness, you never see any animals. I mean, it's a thrill to see one seagull on a 10-day trip. Or maybe you might see a pine marten, maybe every third trip. But generally, you don't see anything. But I go on a bike ride around the city, around the suburbs, and I'd see, there's 20 deer herd. There's like a bunch of wild turkeys. Oh, there's a fox, tons of rabbits.
Not deer.
Yeah, weird deer. Tons of raptors, tons of owl. I mean, it's crazy.
Don't forget the dumpsters, late at night going behind McDonald's and breaking into the dumpsters and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. And people just have to realize you don't need to go out in the middle of nowhere to do research. You just have to get in the right corridors, power line cuts, streams, creeks, railroad tracks are great for research.
Tons of those here. Lots of swampy areas, for carp fishing. Yep. I mean, there was just a sighting here in May 13th of 2025, and the BFRO credited as legit. So, not that I need the BFRO to tell me what I already believe in and know, but it's just cool to have an accredited, relatively accredited group be like, yeah, something was there.
Well, I've had 2 sightings that were really good. One was definitely in an urban area. I was driving down a fairly busy highway, a non-divided highway through the woods, but this road separates 2 wilderness areas, but yet it's still only 6 miles from restaurants, gas stations, blah, blah, blah. And there's a Bigfoot walking alongside the road. Obviously was taking a shortcut to get into this wilderness area, the Rice Creek watershed area. And it didn't give a damn. It just didn't give a damn. And it was just plowing over alders and small saplings just to get into that area and disappeared into the swamp, basically. But I'll bet you no less than 20 cars saw that creature if they were observant even a little bit.
It's crazy to think. It can just drive down the road to the little park, and I'm more likely to have a sighting than I am heading over to like the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, or taking a real expensive trip into the, being dropped off or trying to 4-wheel into a very remote area. Exactly. I actually do. I do. And even in a remote area, they tend to kind of come towards whatever civilized. Like we go to Snellgrove, which is the most remote area that I go to on a regular basis. You get dropped off by a float plane. There's no roads in there. The only way to get in there is plane. You get dropped off. And yet the creatures come around the cabin, the one man-made object there. Why? Because every 6 days, people throw out all of the perishable food that they bring up. We all just bring too much food up there. And it's, and you dump it all out behind the cabin, 50 yards behind the cabin. And they know that. So every 6 days, there's a grocery store laid out there of exotic food and fruit and meat and, eggs and, things they're not going to find in the wilderness very easy.
And I love how you said, pretty much every 6 days, because I really think these things operate on a pattern in a lot of the behaviors in their lives.
Yeah.
You can almost guarantee a time of day if you're in an active area where you're going to encounter them. And for me, I'm going to say that's probably 1 in the afternoon. Like I've had between 1 and 7 just loaded with activity.
Well, that brings up a really cool topic, because they're probably not going to have the same kind of patterns living in these urban areas, or at least punching into these urban areas. They're going to be up at 2 in the afternoon. They're going to be doing all sorts of weird, things. They're not going to be predictably like between, midnight and 4 in the morning. You may have a run-in in the middle of the afternoon.
I think too, being that it's a park, it's like their TV. They're watching people play soccer. The softball fields are there. They're watching from the tree lines. I mean, I would think they probably can pick up on broken English that way too, man.
Okay, so you bring up a really good point, Scott. I mean, we're definitely on the same wavelength. Okay, because the day that we saw our Sasquatch walking along the road, there happened to be a little hometown little water ski show on a lake that there's never anybody on. It's a desolate lake. Nobody lives on it. They put on this little water ski show. And guess what was there on the shore? Probably 20 children. And this thing, we believed, our theory was it came to spy on these kids. Was it a mother? I don't know. But they're really attracted to little groups of people, especially little ones.
And that's why I think my park is such a hotbed, because there's so much going on there at any given time, especially in the summer. Kids are out of school, softball teams. We got the bike, the skating rink and everything is right there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. So it's like, why not? We have a visual feast. We can't hunt back there. And it connects to other people's properties where, they can hunt. Many used game trails. Also culverts, massive 8-foot, 9-foot wide, 10-foot tall culverts like the drains, which I think they use to travel from tree line to tree line unseen as well.
Yeah, that's probably true. But the power line cuts are like usually bordered by thick forest, and they can just zip right through these open areas. There's seems to be more like swampland a lot of times, green belts. There's bike paths. A lot of times they'll use those for travel walkways at night. We find shelters. Do you ever find shelters near the park?
Yes, and I'm walking past these things, and I'm like, how is nobody else questioning why there's teepee structures 20 feet off the path? You know what I mean? I'm looking at it like nobody's going out of their way to do that, especially with the size of some of the logs and length of the sticks that you see too.
Gee, I found one. Was it today? I think it was today. That was wedged. A log did not come from anywhere near, and it wasn't there the other day. And it was lodged. There was a huge log that was wedged into another tree, and that tree that was wedged in there came from nowhere. Like there's nowhere near there. It was carried there. And it was, what would it weigh? I'm guessing about 900 pounds.
That's like warm-up weight for a Sasquatch. Jeez.
Yeah. It's like, and I've seen in the same area, 80-foot tall, 60-foot tall structures, teepees, that tall. Next day, they're gone. And then I don't know if the Forest Service has taken them down. and then they'll be back again. It'll be rebuilt. And I'm like,
you know, it makes sense that you say the Forest Service or even like the park personnel would take them down.
Yeah, the park personnel.
Mean, suddenly we have all these strange, pretty decently engineered structures. A lot of them intersect at the top, like they know what they're doing. And then suddenly they're gone, and you're like, are they trying to take our attention away from them? Yeah. That's why the staff are kind of crap. We got to get in here and break these down, you know?
Yeah. No, it's just a whole nother world. Okay. So what do you think that they're, do you think they're sleeping there? Do you think they're kind of punching in during the daytime?
I think they're sleeping. Basically, we have a runway. There's like a little airport. And just to the left of that airport, there's a real thick, like few acres of trees. You can watch them in the tree line during the day, just chilling, just sitting there watching. I wonder if they're watching the planes going by. And then they'll go in the culverts, is my theory, go all the way across that field. Boom. They're right in this orange trail loop at this park. And that's immediately pops out where all the hunting trails are, where the deer and stuff utilize. So I think they have a engineered plan of how they travel to eat, to, relatively be unspotted, all those things.
Now, if people can put up comments, like somebody had put up a comment about there was a sighting right by a disc golf course.
Yeah, a lot of those comments.
Yeah, which most of those disc golf courses are forested. Mm-hmm. We've got one near our home that's just surrounded by forest. And that's just perfect habitat. And I wonder a lot why there's so damn much wildlife on these suburban edges. I mean, it's kind of insane. I think about how much wildlife is hanging around. So the food prey wouldn't be a problem. I mean, the deer tend to be a little more, I would say, ignorant of upright people. They're more used to it, and they don't run and flee, so they'd be easier to hunt.
I think so too, and I think that animals in general, especially ones that are hunted all the time, start to learn where hunting doesn't really take place, and that's why a lot of these relatively urbanized environments like parks have such a collective habitat of creatures. They know, hey, we're pretty safe here, minus the Bigfoot, of course.
By the way, Scott, Bill Chappie is in the back room. Let's just bring Bill on. He's from Delafield, Wisconsin, not terribly far from you, and maybe he's got some things he wants to talk about. Well, hopefully he can just add to the conversation here.
Let's do it.
Bill.
Welcome, Bill.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, nice to meet you, sir. How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And if you guys are using phones, just make sure your volume's down low so we don't get an echo. That's all. But I just think that most people also in a suburban area are not going to report it. They drive by, like the people that were behind us. Some of them, I'm sure, saw that Bigfoot, and they're just looking at each other going, you know what I mean?
No.
No, there's no way. And they just kept driving, Well,
Monroe is the sighting of the original 1965 Monroe monster.
Ah.
So we have a lot of lore that goes back, and also the bloodiest battle of the War of 1812 took place here, the Battle for the River Raisin.
Yeah.
And during that time, in the soldiers' diaries and journals and stuff, they talk about ape-like creatures climbing the walls, taking the rations during combat.
Yeah.
So it goes back quite a ways here.
So, Bill, do you kind of concur that we have monsters that are literally living on the edge of the urban areas in these green spaces?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And what are your thoughts? Why do you think they are?
Great question, isn't it? I just don't know. It's just
it's all theory at this point.
It is. It's so interesting. I saw my first Bigfoot footprint when I was 6 years old, almost 60 years ago. I'm 65 now. And later that summer, I saw the Gimlin-Patterson film down in the basement at a 4th of July party with his block party. And ever since then, it's been like a deep dive down the rabbit hole to find out what's going on there.
So did you have your sighting, Bill, near town, basically.
Well, I never saw one. I just was with
Oh,
them.
I mean the footprint. I meant the footprint. Was
Well,
that
the
near
footprint
town?
was- No, it was out in the country where I lived, close to my home.
Okay. But you say in the country, there's houses out in the country and farms, correct?
Yeah, I was probably 300 feet from the neighborhood, and at that time it was very, very out in the country. But I remember seeing the footprint. It was 20, like 20 inches long, and
Wow.
I ran up to tell my mom and dad, and I told my dad and mom, and my mom's cooking dinner, and my dad he looked at me and just looked at my mom and said, "Bev, what's for dinner?" Like he could care less, but I remember it. I recall it to this day, and it's really never left my mind.
Okay, well, this is the topic that we're going to continue to hammer tonight. And if anybody has any comments or sightings they know about that happen next to urban areas, and when I mean urban, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking the inner city of, skyscrapers. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the suburban sprawl that we have going on, all the green corridors that come very near gas stations, even malls, but there could be hundreds of acres of wilderness right behind the mall. That's the kind of setting that we're talking about. So, okay, so I don't know much about either of you guys. So I want to why don't you talk a little bit, Scott, on, did you see a creature and what did you see and what happened?
Like, you want me to start from the beginning?
Yeah, well, yeah. I did.
All right.
Don't drag it out too long, but
No. I like to cut to the meat and potatoes of the story. Like I said, I've always believed. I've researched a subject for about 30 years, and I've always been a believer. But in July of 2023, my fiance and I decided to get a Airbnb off grid to kind of get away from the city because it's nothing but sirens and stuff here. And I'm like, we're going to get this in a kind of a squatchy area. I'm going to kind of make this half research, half get away from it all. And obviously, Athens, Ohio was about 27 to 30 miles away from Hocking Hills, which is already a known hotspot. So we're sitting around the fire, and I just decided to grab a piece of the cord from the firewood and just do a few tree knocks. And not 10 seconds later, I heard something back. Of course, I didn't jump right to conclusions thinking that's what it would be, but I'm like, okay, what are the odds? And then throughout the night, sitting around the fire, roasting hot dogs and stuff, obviously we're creating a lot of scent cones and stuff like that. And we started to hear things moving in the woods. And it's not that I immediately jumped to the fact that they were Bigfoot, but I still didn't want to wait around if it were something else. So we decided to go inside of the cabin, which was basically like a super heavy duty yurt on top of like a deck. There was a solar crank to like flush the toilet and everything. You had to hike about a mile in on this guy's property, which is a farm. And we're sitting around the fire. Like I said, I start hearing stuff. I'm like, let's go in the house. We are sitting there in the bed, and 4 a.m., something ran into the side of that cabin. I kid you not. Like it was we're talking Kool-Aid guy style, trying to run through the side of the cabin. It didn't come through, but it definitely moved. And I'm like, we're not leaving. We're not leaving until morning, man. We're not leaving.
how loud was it? How loud was it, Scott?
Oh my gosh. It was like if you had like a car thrown into a brick wall, like at high speed, like during a storm or something. At least that's how I perceived it to be out of a dead sleep.
Wow.
And it was absolutely insane. And I'm like, clearly I didn't say what they wanted me to with that log. I must have said something wrong. Maybe I didn't introduce myself properly. I don't know. And then it was this kind of like gradual harassment throughout the night, trying to open up the door, which clearly something with opposable thumbs would need to do that based on the kind of door this was. And then my fiance, who is a skeptic, open-minded, mind you, she's like, show me the proof and I'll believe. And she kind of is more towards belief now, but the window to the bed was about 9 feet off the ground, and I had fallen asleep and she was still awake. And she said something was walking towards that window bipedal, 2 really, really heavy feet. And when she woke me up and I said, what? The footsteps just stopped, like they just zipped off into nowhere, that's a whole other category I can get into with that. And that's how I got to believe. And after that, I'm like, there's got to be a lot more out there. And then when I had my first encounter, which all that stuff can be found on my page, the Urban Bigfoot on Facebook, all the evidence is on there. That's when we actually were face to face with one, was probably 40 or 50 feet from the camera.
Wow.
The whole 1 and 10-second video is right on Facebook. I've got some stills extracted from the video that we've enhanced. It's got like an ape and a canine type look to the face with about 5 or 6 inches of eye spacing.
Interesting. And was this kind of in a semi-rural area?
I would say about 3/4 of a mile from the parking lot is when this happened.
Okay.
Just into the woods. And it was right there, just right around where there's a known game trail. And we must have caught it hunting. It was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when we encountered that one. And we probably just were out there at the same time it was doing its thing.
By the way, Scott, did anybody tell you that you sound like Richard Dreyfuss?
No, but actually they did just now. Thank you.
You do. You remind me of the voice of Richard Dreyfuss.
Nobody has ever given me a compliment like that in any of the podcasts I've ever been on.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you, sir.
Why is my eye is twitching from something? It's not twitching. It's something to do with the studio here, the lighting. It's kind of weird. Looks like my eye's going and it's not. It's not. I assure you. I'll have to.
You're not having a stroke on set or anything, right?
No. I got to turn my light up a little bit. Maybe it'll make it go away. There we go. I think my light was too low. So, okay. This thing hit, and I've been in cabins that have been hit so hard that it felt like a semi-truck ran into them, or a big Ram Dodge truck just drove right into the wall. And it's impossible. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, no human could do that if they were going to hoax you. There was no damage on the cabin. The first cabin that I was in that hit that hard that the bed that we were in actually moved away from the wall.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And it was the first time I heard my daughter, my youngest daughter, I'd never taken her on an expedition. And she sat up and said the F word. She said, and
I'd say that's one of them free pastimes.
Yeah, it was. And I thought, and I explained to her, I'm like, well, they're just trying to intimidate us or something. We don't know. Maybe they're trying to get us to walk out of the cabin. Maybe they're just doing it out of frustration. Maybe they resent the cabin, possibly. I don't know. But it seems very angry. And then every night after that, it would attack another wall. So it did my wall first, and then it did Joe's wall second, then Blaine's wall the third night.
It's targeting all of you individually.
It was weird. Like, how would it even know? But the fact it would attack a different wall every night was quite fascinating. And then after that happened, then each night it threw something at each wall. Versus the big, the giant like truck hit, it did more of a subtle, like it found it was a push broom that we had left out, and it threw one of those against the wall, and it bounced off, and then a rock on another one, and it was that kind of a progression. Have you ever felt in danger when that? I mean, did you feel like you were in some kind of danger when that big impact hit?
Here's the thing. I was in such a dead sleep, thank God, that I don't think I fully processed just how serious of a moment it was had I been like awake when it happened. Yeah. I think that I was protected by that REM sleep or something for a minute. But it shocked me so much that I'm still half asleep trying to process what took place.
Yeah.
I'm like, my fiance is like, we got to go. I'm like, where are you going to go? We're a mile from the car. We're not leaving till daylight at the very least, if we survive the night, that is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a few tracks and stuff that I had from there, but the fact that, and I'm sure this gets you too, Doug, the tracks ways leading to nowhere, or all of a sudden you'll hear them and they go away. I mean, that's where the woo factor for me comes into play a little bit, but it still throws you off, And
I don't have a problem talking about the woo factor. It's just, I have no idea what these things are. Bill, I don't think you know what these things are. I know you don't either, Scott. And so all we can do is just collect the data and not come to any solid conclusions. Theories are great, you know. They may come out of this, we just don't know. But yeah, we've all experienced things that didn't make any sense. All of us have probably. Bill, I'm not ignoring you. Have you had any kind of sighting or anything, or has it just been more a real keen interest into the topic?
No sighting, just a real keen interest in the subject. The place that they had the MonsterQuest sighting,
Yep.
the season 4, episode 9. I went over there. I was just going out one night to get a gallon of milk.
Well, tell us what that sighting was, Bill, before you.
Oh, okay. It was the one where the werewolf or the bear squatch had taken a deer off the back of the DNR pickup truck at 2:00 in the morning.
Right, where they were picking up roadkill deer.
Right. And it the guy had put the deer in the back of the pickup truck and then went in to do his paperwork inside of the truck and heard a bump and didn't think anything of it, heard another bump, and then looked in the rearview mirror and saw like a bear-type Sasquatch werewolf.
Yeah.
Taking the deer out of the back of the truck, and he took off in the truck, came back 5 minutes later, the ramp was gone and the deer was gone. And it was all over the news in Milwaukee, and there was quite a few reports on that in the newspaper and all that. So it was real close to my house, so I went over there many times to see where this situation happened, and it happened right in front of this church that we call Holy Hill. So one night I went out just to get a gallon of milk, and I noticed that there was a full blood moon, and it was Halloween. And I thought, if I go up to Holy Hill and get some nice pictures of the moon behind the church, it would be really a great picture. So I went up there and I took some pictures in front of the church. And then I went down to where this encounter happened and I took some more pictures, and it just gave me the creepiest feeling I've ever had. I couldn't even describe it. I got out of the truck to take these 3 pictures and I couldn't get back in the truck fast enough. And I've, driven all over the United States for work, and I'm really not afraid of much, but this was the creepiest thing that's really ever happened to me. And it just made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And I got out of the truck to take those pictures, and, I took these 3 pictures really quick and they're quite blurred. But when I got home, I noticed the orbs in these pictures, which I didn't see at the time. So I still don't know what that is. And if anybody knows, I'd like to hear their expertise on it. But
I remember you heard a bunch of whistles.
Yes. Now, 1 mile north of that encounter, that one happened in 2006. There was another BFRO report that happened in 2021, where a kid was driving down the road and saw a Sasquatch hanging on the side of a tree as he went. And he went home, told his dad, and they got the dog, came back. The dog didn't want anything to do with it. And they filed a report with the BFRO. They called the police, and I talked to the dad a couple months after that. And by then, he really didn't want anything, to do with anybody else talking to him. But I went up there one night about a year after this happened, and I had just drove down. It was 2:00 in the morning. I drove down this road, and I didn't see anything. I turned around and came back up, and it felt like I had driven over like an 8-inch rock. It lifted the truck off the ground about 8 inches, and I didn't see anything in the road, and I thought I had hit a raccoon. So I turned around, came back, and I expected to see a dead animal in the road, and there was nothing there. So that was really strange. And then later that night, I went down the road, and I had my flashlight toward this encounter area, and I was scanning the swamp with a high-powered lithium light. and I wasn't seeing anything. And then I heard something whistling at me like this for 3 minutes. And it was only within 25 feet of me down in the cattails.
And this is at night.
This is July 18th at night, at 11 o'clock at night in the middle of summer. And nobody in their right mind is going to be down in the swamp doing that. And I was so dumbfounded. I had my one foot on the brake, one on the gas. I had the light out, and I was searching right for where this was to make sure it wasn't a human or anything else, but I couldn't see anything. And the creep factor there was, to this day, was just beyond description.
Yeah. The creep factor. Do you, Scott? How brave are you? I'm a complete chicken. I'm real brave when I'm with somebody, but if I'm alone, forget it.
I prefer. I mean, it's safer to go at least with two people. Just for rule of thumb or anything these days. But I've been out there a couple times at 2, 3 a.m. by myself on some independent investigations. I think that it's necessary to further research when we start to do things that aren't that common. So me being out there by myself is going to elicit different phenomena than me and my buddy going out there together. So he'll go out there by himself sometimes. I'll go out there by myself, or we'll do like a leapfrog tactic. And we've both gotten a lot of different responses trying different things.
Yeah. Well, the key is not to get eaten.
Yes. I mean, I can run fast, but 45 ain't it. 45, I don't think I can do 45.
Yeah. Bill, you don't want to get eaten, but you get the feeling you're about to be eaten. What is that feeling? Do you think that, do you think Bill was zapped with something, or do you think it's just a natural instinct for us to be afraid of the dark and because we're in the know, right? We know monsters are real, and a lot of people don't. But we do know. We're in the know that way. We don't know what they are, but we know they're real, and it does something to us. My head's on a swivel. I've seen way too much not to have my head on a swivel, even if I'm with somebody.
Oh, for sure. I think he probably got infrasounded. I believe infrasound is something that's pretty common. I think there's different degrees of severity. I don't think that it's something that a Sasquatch or any other cryptid or even normal creatures like tigers utilize it to paralyze their prey, but I don't think it's something that happens all the time. I think that maybe there's juveniles nearby, and that's kind of like a get out of here, this is your only warning. I think sometimes it gets part of it's time for you to go now sort of levels that they have when you're overstay your welcome.
Yeah. Jeff, have you ever felt that creepy feeling ever?
Oh, yeah.
Like even up at Brendan's?
Yeah, I've been in the woods by myself, and yeah, when you hear strange things and you don't know what it is, yeah, that's unsettling. That's definitely unsettling. And even if you know what it is, it's unsettling. Yeah, I've definitely get that feeling where you can't get out of the woods fast enough.
But Bill, okay, but what's your goal, Bill? Are you hoping to see something, Bill?
Yes.
You are, okay.
Oh yeah.
And why? Why do you want to see something?
Just curiosity, I guess. I always have the dash cam going, and
okay.
just curious about the area. And I go up there quite frequently. I was up there a couple times this last week, and I think I told you about the owls there was an owl right in the middle of the road when I went up toward this place. And he's a screech owl. He's just sitting in the middle of the road with his back to me, really kind of bizarre. And then he flew up onto a mailbox, and I pulled up next to him, and he was within 8 feet from the car, just screeching at me for several minutes.
Yeah.
And then I went to the other side of where the encounter happened, and 3 black cats crossed in front of my
3 black cats.
It is. I'll tell you what. This is the creepiest area. It's up and down. It's kettles and moraines. It's steep gulches, 100-foot drops, and then it comes up. And they made roads on the crest of the hills. But this place is just the creepiest place I've ever been to.
How far do you think you are? How far apart are you two guys? Do you think? He's in, Jeff, can you find a map where Bill lives in Delafield, Wisconsin? And then Scott is from Monroe, Michigan. How far
And that's
apart
kind
are
of like
those?
Cleveland, right?
Yeah, ish. Yeah, more Toledo.
That's probably 500 miles at least.
500, yeah. Okay, so you guys are far enough. You're far enough apart. You're not going to hang out.
And you don't know that. You
guys are
we've
gonna
already
dangerous-
exchanged numbers.
You guys would be dangerous together. Oh my God. Okay. So we always, so much of us do research, but we don't really have any goals.
6
We're
hours.
just
away.
curious, just general curiosity. Do you have a specific goal, Scott? Why
just
you
wanna
do
get-
this?
I personally, all of my research comes from a biblical perspective. I think these things go all the way back to before the flood.
Okay.
So I like to follow. I'm big and I research the Book of Enoch extensively, the Book of Giants, a lot of that thing, and that's those sorts of texts. And I think that our Bigfoot and all of our sirens and the creatures are ultimately due to the incursion from the fallen angels. So
Okay.
I hope to continue my research at what I think to
So
already maybe
are you
exist,
trying to?
know?
Yeah. Are you trying to like maybe even kind of prove out that theory?
I would love to prove that theory out. I don't know what it is. We all have to have our own line of research, and your research
Yeah.
has to support your beliefs to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I don't want to be rich, but I'd like to go around and talk about it because I like to provide a different perspective on things. It's about keeping the wonder alive to me. It's the mystery, Bigfoot, we know he's real, but the idea of him being real is almost exciting as,
Yeah.
it's just the whole idea.
Well, I mean, what gets you, and how did you even get interested, Bill? I don't think I asked you that. Did you get interested because of shows like MonsterQuest, or was it the Patterson Gimlin film? What got you interested?
It was the footprint, and then it was the film of the Gimlin Patterson film.
Okay.
That's what started it all, and it's been just relentless after
Yeah.
that. But it is a great topic. It's so interesting, and the more you look at it, the weirder it gets. But now Scott was saying too about the religious aspect of it, and what I find interesting in this whole thing is all of these encounters I'm talking about take place right at this Holy Hill Church, this Basilica Church.
Oh, there you go, Scott.
And there has been goat men seen there. There's been tragic accidents. There's been a lot of good things that have happened in this church. Just a lot of spooky stories that I've heard ever since I was a kid about this.
Okay, is the church still open and active?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So there's still parishioners that go there.
Oh,
It's
big
not
time.
it's not abandoned or anything.
I think
no, it's
Bigfoot-
been around.
Bigfoot's being around a church. I mean, there's our Bigfoots that they call the ancient ones, and those tend to be the more guardian protector types. And I think that if you have Sasquatch around a church, they're probably just keeping an eye on it. So
Yeah.
you see them in cemeteries. A lot of encounters of them being spotted in cemeteries, just going down the road. I think they're guardians of the kind of that liminal space between life and death to a degree.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this theory. Are you also open to it as just a flesh and blood, whatever creature that's adapted to just hide and seek?
Oh,
and
for
survival?
sure. I would
Okay.
shake any one of us that proves our theory true. That's a win for the entire community.
Yeah.
I'll shake the hand of anybody whose research ultimately becomes what Bigfoot is. But we still have 200 other cryptids, so
Yeah.
the journey continues.
Yeah, that's true. And now we're dealing with the government releasing, trickle feeding us disclosure on UFOs. So at least we know that, they weren't ignoring them like they said they were. And they've been hinting, as some of the journalists have been hinting, going, there's some religious, spiritual aspect to this whole thing. And what do you think about that, Scott? Are you
I'm not
kind of in that?
100% certain. I think that they could be demonic entities.
Yeah.
simply based off of the pattern that they follow. I mean, when you even go back to the Bible, when they speak about UFOs, there's always a sinister, here's the bare minimum. I'm going to let you know that this is something weird, but I'm not going to tell you anything beyond that. And with the capacity, you're 80,000 feet in the air, and suddenly, like the Tic Tac UFO drops, nothing exists from this realm or dimension that has the ability to do that without falling out of the sky.
Right.
It's got to be next world technology. Do I think the government has tech? Yes, but not to that, independent energy balls and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, they could either an advanced civilization in an adjacent or parallel dimension, or they are maybe even possible fallen angels. But I think there's a lot more to it than just what people think aliens are. The general public.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a complex issue, and God knows. I hope we know. What do you think, Bill, about all the religious aspect to this stuff and the alien tie-in? What are your thoughts?
It could be demonic, the alien type stuff. What I've tried to find out is about this church areas, what's really going on there. Now, I spoke to a lady, Sheila, out in Vermont about this, and she said these creatures are coming from the ground. And then later on, a few years ago, I watched this show called Dead Files on the Travel Channel or HBO. It's called Absorbed. And this was about a horse farm that was 2,000 feet from this church. And basically, they said that there's whatever these things are, they're coming from the soil or the dirt or from underground. I do think that a lot of these things are coming from underground.
Underground, okay.
That's my theory.
Scott, what do you think about that?
The
underground, the caves, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's so much like land mass we haven't discovered, let alone the ocean. Subterranean, though, I mean, obviously, they have found civilizations that just suddenly moved into the earth, 10,000 years ago, and nobody knows why. And who's to say that there aren't still some remnant things living down there? I mean, we know the government has bases and stuff going on down there for research and everything too. So who knows what's a natural graze in cohabitation or whatever, or if it's just some sort of military experiment.
And do you ever consider that there's this whole phenomenon, all of these cryptids, all of these aliens, Bigfoot, Dogmen are all connected, Mothman. Do you think they're all kind of under one big umbrella of fallen angels or whatever?
I do. I think I do. I think that it changes though, because think about it. Let's say Sasquatch has powers, just for the sake of discussion. As the bloodline, obviously there's a breeding population. As the bloodline continues, it would become diluted. Mm-hmm. We would just have essentially normal flesh and blood specimens versus ones that have the ability to do mind speak and all that sort of thing. In all honesty. So I think that
I'm sorry, I had my mic off. You've brought up mind speak. Is that anything, Bill, Scott, have you ever experienced anything like that?
I've never personally had mind speak happen to me. I'm kind of hoping it does. That would kind of round out the experience as a whole. But I've talked to many people who aren't even really Bigfoot enthusiasts who have claimed to have mind speak and then had an encounter. So maybe some people are chosen,
Fascinating. I've never, I experienced mind speak or some kind of weird telepathy message that came into my head while I was driving many, many years ago, back in the 80s. In the mid 80s, I was, had just gotten into the television. I had a show on television, and it was just like a year and a half earlier, that was my dream. And I had this show on the TV, and I had really good, talented people, and everything was going great. And I was thinking about that, asking myself, this seemed to all work out so easy. It just seemed to come so natural. And And I heard a voice go, "Someday you'll understand." And it sounded like a man in my back seat. Literally, I could hear it. There was a dude, and I spun around to look to see if there was some dude sitting in my back seat. And I remember I was driving under the Hennepin Avenue Bridge, and I kept looking in the back seat because I was so weirded out by it. But I've never had that happen ever again. So it was a one-time event, and so that's my mind. I guess it'd be what you'd call mind speak, right?
It makes sense. We don't know what it was, but it's definitely mind speak.
I keep wondering, well, what was it? Why was it MonsterQuest? Was that, because in those days I had a it was like an outdoor show that I was doing, and that outdoor show is still on the air, which is great. It's been going on 50 years now.
Doug, that MonsterQuest episode alone, Doug, that one in Canada where they kept on attacking the cabin when they stepped down the nails. Yeah. Yes, that one. That alone woke up so many people to getting interested in Bigfootery and cryptozoology in general. Your show is probably the last, I would say, real wholesome, about the subject matter out there. There's a lot of good ones, but they don't quite hit what you did.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, maybe that was what the voice meant. You know what I mean? Or maybe it was all BS and I didn't really hear it. But I'm going to tell you, when you're looking in your back seat for a man, that's how clear I heard it. And I've always asked, I've never forgotten that phrase that I heard, "Someday you will understand." And now I'm old, and I guess I'm kind of you become at some point a washed up producer. I'm still working on 20 episodes of Legend Meets Science too. Still hoping for some big breakthroughs that can happen from that, but I don't know. What else would it be? I guess cryptozoology. That was the message. And I do know that MonsterQuest, Legend Meets Science, definitely had an effect on some people, a profound effect. But that's not something you think about when you're doing it, right?
No.
You make the episodes, you do the best you can. But lately I keep meeting new people that come to me and go, "That changed my life, man." And I'm like, whoa, wow, that's...
Legend Meets Science is 100% what got me interested.
Really? Yeah.
100%.
Oh, for sure.
That's the first time I thought of it seriously and got just really interested in the subject. Basically, like Legend Meets Science, so that the book and the documentary both.
Yeah,
that was such a well-rounded book. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it didn't touch. It's usually most books weigh heavy on one side of things. That was so even keeled. I loved it.
Yeah,
he's written by a scientist. He's a real scientist.
Yeah,
Dr. Meldrum knew what he was doing.
Have you ever seen Legend Meets Science, the documentary that the book is based on?
I have not.
What?
Okay, we got it.
I haven't either.
I'm sure you can dig up a DVD player
Don't
somewhere.
send me to the back room. Don't send me to the green room.
No. So, Jeff, will you make sure he gets one free?
Sure.
We'll get one out to you.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll get you a Legend Meets Science. But that was the doc that ran on Discovery Channel for many, many, many years. For almost 20 years, they ran that. And the book is based on the doc, and then it goes deeper. Of course, Jeff went deeper, but that was the idea, that he would write the book and I would do the doc, and then we would, try to market them together. But yeah, the whole thing with Legend Meets Science certainly was, one of the first scientific looks at the phenomena or the mystery. And Bill, what was the first? You saw MonsterQuest, obviously, at some point. You saw the one episode.
Oh, I saw all of them. Yeah, that really changed my life too. It's just very well put together in all ways.
Well, it's good. Well, here we all are together. And now, what can we do to inspire more people and more young people?
Maybe that's the "someday you will understand," Doug. bringing all of us together into the same, kind of creating a family unit in this field.
Yeah,
that could have been the reason, kind of bringing people together through the common things.
Yeah. Some of the new things that I wanted to ask, for sure, you, Scott, have you ever heard any kind of like a hum or a buzz while you've been out in the field? We've been collecting these recordings. Jeff can play one.
Sure.
And every time we do a podcast and talk about it, more people come forward. I can tell by the look on your face, Scott, you're drawing a blank. It's drawing a blank. But Jeff, go ahead and play it.
Yeah, I'll give me a minute here to pull one up here. I got to find
it.
You
got 30 seconds. But it's just a weird sound. It sounds like hummingbird wings, but kind of overdriven, almost like you're hearing infrasound on the stuff above 20 hertz and the stuff below it. Here it goes.
Here, I'll play it again. It's a crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's nuts. There's
that
more
almost
of them.
sounds like a grunt to me. It almost sounds more like a vocalization to me than like a.
Well, it is. Yeah. We're thinking that, me and David Ellis have been calling it the humbuzz purr because we can't quite categorize it. It's
Don't
definitely
ever change that name. You should, matter of fact, you should put that on t-shirts. That sounds really cool.
Humbuzz purr. Exactly. And you know how humans hum, right? We hum to our kids when they're little. I don't know if you've got kids, Scott, but I did. And mothers hum to their children to put them to sleep. Apparently, they've come out with scientific papers. There are proof that it helps heal you if you hum. It boosts your immune system. And so this has been recorded by many researchers, but they always blew it off.
Well, here, so that first one I played was from Texas.
Yeah, that was Texas.
From 40
By the way,
years ago.
Matt Langford right now is using the hum in his research.
So just for context, this is the Snell Grove one.
Snell Grove. Yep, I recorded this up in Snell.
This is a loop. So this isn't, it's a loop of the recording, but this is 40 years apart, opposite sides of the continent. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that throat singing? Maybe
it's kind of like a didgeridoo.
Like that, yeah.
It's throat singing. Yeah, it's all of those qualities.
Like there's definitely like double sets of vocal cords there.
It seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah, I kind of just get that sense. Obviously, we haven't proven it, but it's Carl's like, it's not a frog. It said the audio is modulated between 16 hertz and 18.5 hertz, and then Carl had just bumped that one up into the audible range. The first one, that was Carl Supp's recording. Mm-hmm. That was recorded down at a ranch on a VHS tape.
In the 80s. So I mean,
in the 80s.
Before anybody
but we've collected now 85 recordings of the hum. So we kind of think it's something.
Do these hums always occur in like the same similar locations?
Well, they occur in relationship to Bigfoot research. Yeah. All from Bigfoot research. Tristan Yolton was the first. I'm not sure he noticed the hum, but he played a recording of what he believed would be a Sasquatch eating food that him and his mother had left out with a recorder. And there was that same kind of hum in the background. And I went, whoa, back it up, and I thought that's something. And, so I kind of made a big deal out of this humming I heard. And
I wonder if they all vibrate at that same hertz frequency.
Don't know. Obviously, they're all going to have different body mass. Bill, if there's 8-footers, there's got to be a 1-footer, they're all different body sizes, females versus males. Why they do it, I don't know, but we recorded quite a bit of it up at Snell, lots of it. And I can't for the life of me come up with any other animal that would do that.
I haven't had anything with the buzzes or the hums or anything, but I have had it where like my ears will be like I'm up in a plane, the pressure before something happens.
Okay. Like the air pressure drops.
Yes.
I've experienced that too, and I don't know what it is. It's creepy as hell. It's like you almost hear the whistle. You almost hear the ooh, this kind of a drop. It's like a dropping feeling.
Yeah.
Like you're dropping in altitude.
You get dizzy for a second on some occasions too. It's almost like a quick case of vertigo. It's weird.
Bill, anything like that?
Never. I've heard of it from other reports, but no, not myself.
Let's see here. Oh, I see. We've got Tristan here. He says, the first initial hum noise on my recording really made me interested. I don't know if we have Tristan's hum.
I have some videos of his. I don't know.
Tristan, could you isolate that hum and mail it to Jeff P at untoldradioam.com?
You should have my email, but I'll write it down here.
Yeah, he'll put the email if you want to send that one, and we can play that. But anyhow, it's just one of those new things. We don't get often new things in Bigfoot research, and the newest things are fingerprints. Analyzing them, there should be DNA in there. There should be chemical compounds in the surface skin lipids, because all great apes have a different chemical formula. So that's kind of a new thing. And then the forensics of the fingerprints. Obviously we've all seen them. I'm sure, Bill, you've seen them, fingerprints on cars from expeditions and people. I mean, you could just type in Bigfoot fingerprints and find hundreds of pictures online. It's a thing, but no one's ever really analyzed them.
And they're so long. Some of them are like this, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, so I'm working on analyzing all that stuff, because I think that's a new category of study. That, and obviously the different types of audios, like the hum, I think are important. And
eDNA is pretty new still, isn't it?
eDNA is, but the technology for eDNA, it's like, why work on eDNA when we have blood? We have so many things that we can test directly where the morphology doesn't fit, like a hair. They're very different than any other animal hair. They're very primate, very human-like. They're thinner. They have maybe less scales, but they have human scaling. Why do eDNA when we can examine a hair? Or fingerprints, the sloughed off skin cells and fingerprints. So eDNA is great, and I hope somebody works on it. I like the air filter idea of, putting an air filter in an area and collecting all the body dust from all the different animals.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the Bigfoot skin cells that are just sloughed off and out in the,
That's crazy. I had a similar idea to use a mirror, like sticking a mirror out in a known site and then having like the trail camera face the mirror.
Yes, that's been a thing, because that's how a lot of footage was gotten in Texas. And it was funny when we were talking about it. We had a guest on, I think it was Mike Angular, and he goes, "Well, that's weird, because I had a dream. They had a Bigfoot come to me in a dream and said, if you want to see us, you have to look at us through a mirror." And I went, well, that's kind of interesting, Tommy. So one of the things, if Adam would ever get his butt back from Colorado, we're going to draw up and 3D print out these holders for mirrors for surveillance cameras. So they can be manufactured kind of on a, real easy level and built and deployed. Because I think mirrors are, why not? What do we have to lose? Yeah, Matt goes, surface skin, lipid, sebum, yes. But Matt is using the hum in his research, and I don't know if he's having much luck yet. And I was supposed to edit some more tapes that he was going to use, and I just didn't have time yet, Matt. So forgive me. I will get at it yet this week. You will get your tapes. So anyhow, but those are kind of the newer things, I guess. But to me, still, you guys are on a journey to get your own info, to have your own sighting. And so you've had a sighting, but one sighting is never enough.
No, it's not.
I've never seen one from the front. I've always seen them walking away from me or standing with their back turned to me. I've been snuffed, just like, ugh. I want to see the face, because to me, without the face, it's not even hardly real.
I think like if you put a GoPro camera on your back, that's a great way to get a face shot, because a lot of times they'll pop out of cover when we walk past.
Sure.
I mean, Scott Carpenter pretty much perfected that method and caught so much great evidence during his time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still a lot of blur, stuff. Nobody has really gotten the Nat Geo. I hear great evidence, but man, nothing is
I wonder
topped.
why though. I mean, do they vibrate at a different frequency than we do, so technology naturally is distorted?
I don't know. You got to remember, Roger and Bob, they had a film camera, spring wind, non-electrical, and it was a film camera. And it was instant on, fixed focus, and an iPhone is a joke compared to a 16 millimeter film camera. Yeah, and yet you can still buy film cameras. You can still get the film stock, and Walmart will still develop it.
That's awesome.
16 millimeters aren't that expensive. I've got I bet I've got 120, 150 of them that I was just buying them up because I was a collector of film. I started buying stuff just for a collection because I could get it for dirt cheap. I could get it for $5, $10. All these film cameras because nobody wanted them. They didn't work. Most of them were frozen, and I would, restore them. And so I would restore them and put them on a tub. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but you could still use it as a research tool. Why not?
That's true.
What do you got there, Jeff?
So this is a 3 times loop that David made of Tristan's hunt.
Oh, okay. This is what started it all.
Yep, this is a good one.
Yep, Tristan stuff. You hear that low frequency? Right here. It's low frequency.
Yeah, that is something else, isn't it? Man.
I wonder if we could run that through a translator, if any of it would be picked up in any known language or pick up any similarities.
That sounds like something Richard Dreyfuss would say.
Well, there's that second compliment tonight.
Oh my God. You need to rent Jaws and watch it.
I just watched a couple weeks ago. What a great movie.
And so like EK doesn't necessarily mean better. And no, it doesn't. No. Because, the lenses they put in these iPhones are great, but they're tiny. So they're made for up close work. They're not made for 30, 40 feet away. They're just a dot. There's not enough light gathering. Everything looks very disappointing on a cell phone. and I'm not really familiar, I should say, with the brand newest, iPhone 59 that they have out, or, the newest Android. I'm not necessarily familiar with all those, but most of those lenses are 3.6 millimeter. They're tiny, compared to a 50 millimeter lens on a film camera. It's a big difference. So I definitely suggest people get a film camera. In fact, one of the camera traps that we used at Snell was a 16 millimeter camera that Eric Sorensen designed a trigger for me, where it was like a piece of monofilament line you ran out, and it pulled a clip out if something tripped, and filmed with the 16 millimeter film camera. And we've had that deployed up at Snell. We haven't gotten anything yet, but
that's the camera that Patterson used right there.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Frank. Yeah.
What millimeter? What was the main lens on the turret? What size?
I don't recall.
Looks like 30 millimeter, maybe.
I can't recall, but
It's 10 times better than a 3.6. I don't know.
25 millimeter he used.
25, okay. Well, that's still a lot.
And that camera you can swap different lenses in it, but it's believed that he used the 25 millimeter.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Take the old equipment out for new research.
Well, why not? Because it's instant on. So you can just,
Yeah.
boosh, it's going.
And it's mechanical. There's no
I see a
power in it.
Bigfoot and I'm walking with my phone. I'm going to have to get my phone out, start, scrolling through to get to the phone thing or the video setting, and hit that. And then I got to pick video. By then it's gone.
Yeah.
But an instant on film camera, pull the trigger, you're shooting. And Roger had practiced, and of course now people are calling that fake. I'm like, okay.
Somebody tries to call it fake like every 12 years.
Every few years, yeah. It happens.
Somebody's like, oh, this new video came out.
And it always ends up going
okay.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Because, the only way you're going to prove the Patterson's fake is to duplicate it, even with modern materials. Do that, show me, and I'd consider it. But even with modern materials, they can't duplicate it. If you see a real animal, right? You see a real bear in a movie, it's a real bear. You see a CGI bear in a movie like The Revenant, where this animated bear is attacking DiCaprio in this movie. And instantly it's animated. And if it's a guy in a bear costume, for sure you cannot fake reality. You cannot fake a real tiger yet. You can say you can, but even with AI, you can't. There's still subtle differences. Your eye spots it, but when you see the Patterson Gimlin film, the brain instantly, within a split second, goes, "It's a real animal."
To me, it's the feet. It's the mid-tarsal break, and you cannot mimic that kind of perfection with no arch. You know what I mean? Most people don't have that kind of size to even become close to Patty to even pull that off.
Well, it's you got to realize, though, Scott, it's everything. It's the hair. It's the way the light hits the hair. It's the muscles. It's the stride. It's the weight. When it steps down and it vibrates. It's everything. It's millions of data points, maybe trillions of data points that our brain picks up. That goes.
A lot of people say there's more than one specimen in the Patty film too.
Well,
you talk about that. I hear that talked about a little bit. I'm like, I don't need it, but it's still pretty cool,
I think Patty was protecting or leading away those guys from a family or a juvenile. I think that's a very real possibility. Just like in the Freeman footage, I think that they'll show themselves out in the open. It's like, hey, follow me. They'll do that to protect a young one. I don't think they step out into the open like that in front of two people, and then instead of just going into the forest, it kind of led them away. So I don't know. But generally, when you see a real animal, it's a trillion points of data that your brain goes, it's real. So I mean, don't you guys agree when you look at a bear video, it's a live bear. It's not a guy in a bear suit.
Right.
And you could try to pinpoint why, but you don't need to explain it. Your brain just knows.
Yeah.
So anyhow, oh man, where should we take this conversation? What time is it? No, we got plenty of time. Where should we take this conversation? What would you like to talk about, Scott and Bill?
Honestly, Doug, just personally, I'd like to know what you think Bigfoot is.
Oh crap!
Oh, did I open up a can of worms on this one?
No, not at all. I don't know. That's the old crap. I don't know. I've been doing research since the 90s on this topic, in a very, very heavy way, in a very full-time way. And I have less answers now than I did back then.
Yeah.
Back then it was more pure, it was just a creature that lived in the forest, and there weren't many of them. They were rare, and that was my conclusion back in like 1991. That's what I thought. I had an experience many years earlier with audio and a smell. I was on a deer stand, and I heard before the sun came up, or right as it was coming up, I heard chest beating. And it was definitely from a big animal. And it wasn't grouse. I was a grouse hunter. It wasn't grouse drumming. Grouse drumming sounds like it weighs 1 pound. This sounded like it weighed 1,000 pounds. And then I got hit with a stink. Great. I'm a little freaked out. I don't know what it is. And then when we went all back to camp to meet for noon for lunch, everybody in the party had the same experience. This thing had gone to each deer stand, quarter mile or half mile away from each other, and put on this show of chest beating and stinking them out.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was really interesting. And then I put it out of my head. That was the end of it. Nothing else happened. It was one time when I was a kid, I heard a scream in the woods. That was very, very loud. I suppose it could have been a fox, maybe, but it sounded like 1,000-pound fox. And that was kind of it until I was up in the Arctic and found footprints. And they were crystal clear, in beautiful beach sand, wet, damp beach sand, and then up into the tundra, the pea gravel. And then when the footprint was in front of a tree trunk, and then there was another footprint directly behind that tree trunk, and I knew that it had stepped over that tree, over the top of the tree. A sapling, but up there, they're stunted. That might have been a 100-year-old tree, but it was very, very stunted and maybe only had like a 3-inch diameter to the trunk. But it was still, 6 foot tall, the tree, 7 foot, and it stepped over the tree. It's the only way you could put a footprint behind it and exactly in a straight line in front of it. And that's when the guy that was right up my side goes, "We need to leave now." Because it hit him too. And he's like, "Holy crap." So that was my thing I couldn't shake, right? Because there were too many footprints all the way. Then we went out beyond that stand of trees, and there off in the horizon, you could see hundreds and hundreds of footprints going off into the tundra. So it was definitely real.
It's interesting though. I'm less certain now than I used to be as well. For the longest time, I was really committed to the Gigantopithecus theory.
Yeah,
and now I'm like, it just doesn't explain it.
Yeah, we just have more choices nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody
That's the most
talked
reasonable one, right? The Gigantopithecus one, I would say.
There's others that are just so plausible. That one's plausible.
Yeah.
I've grown to believe that they're way closer to humans than that. I think they're so close to human. They're just a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of percentage off from us.
I agree.
think they're almost human.
I've had so many DNA tests done and they come back and they're always human contamination. If I hear that one more time, I did a show with Scott Wolter and I gave him a hair from the Freeman creature that Paul Freeman had collected, and they tested that, and he came back kind of like, oh yeah, I got Doug, this is a gotcha moment because it's going to be human. And Scott reads the paper on, the DNA report in front of, all the world audience. And he's like, well, I got bad news. It's just a human hair. And I'm like, well, I expected it to come back human. And it wasn't a human hair. It was never been cut. It had no medulla in it. It had a tapered, worn end. It had human scaling. It certainly was not anything other than from a primate. And I expected it to come back human because how deep did they go with that DNA test? But he thought it was a big gotcha, and I was happy. I was like, that's exactly what I expected it would come back as.
Well, just think of the range of known humans. I mean, there's people that there's just normal, everyday, modern human beings, you see them side by side. It's hard to believe they're the same species.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So I just think it's a little bit further out on the spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely. We it's hard to believe that a guy who's one of these huge basketball players. I can't think. Michael Jordan or whoever.
Shaquille O'Neal.
And then compared that to an actor who maybe experienced dwarfism. It's like that's night and day.
Yeah, radically different, and we're still the same species. So
yeah, we are.
That's my most current thinking is that it's just a little bit further out on the spectrum.
Yep. No, Matt, he said we have a ton of unverified crap. Yes,
100%.
We do.
Unverified.
Yes, this is all unverified. Every one of our theories is unverified.
Yep. We're humble. We know that we don't know.
Somebody would say Danny goes, leave, hell no. Why test here when we have blood? Yes, and we do. We've got blood samples that were collected, very, very fresh, frozen, collected properly, and we're waiting for tests back on that. And I have a feeling that if they don't go real deep, they're going to go, oh, it's human blood. Well, sure, but they were found in 17-inch footprints on the left foot. It's probably not a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And those are what, 8 inches wide? I mean,
yeah, it's just, yeah, you can say it's human all day long, but that's going to then warrant it to go very deep. We need to go very deep with the DNA to try to get the full genome and see what stands out. I mean, it might be just this. What if there's no differences? Because you take somebody with hypertrichnosis, isn't that what's it called? The disease that you get covered with hair. Hypertrichnosis? I think
that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so. Anyhow, there's no DNA difference. I did a DNA test on those guys, and there's none. Zero.
I mean, here's my thing. Take a Bigfoot. What happens when you remove the hair? You have a primitive human. We're looking at Cro-Magnons. We're looking at Denisovans.
That guy's gonna be able to walk into any store and just be accepted as a big dude. He might look Native American. He might look, you know what I mean. He might have a little bit of high cheekbones, but other than that, I don't think anybody would stare even. It's like, oh, there's a big guy.
That's why I thought maybe the hair is an environmental adaptation, over the years to adapt to the climate change.
Yeah. Do you think that's reasonable, Bill? Just an environmental change?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. It's just fascinating. The whole subject is just fascinating. And I feel the same way, I think.
Look at Jeff. He's changing to his environment. He's growing a beard.
Yeah.
There he goes. But no, it easily could be that. I mean, I don't think evolution takes that long to make those kind of little changes,
Well, that's adaptation. Adaptation can take place in one generation.
I mean, there's humans that are really hairy.
Yeah.
Like just regular dudes that don't even have hypertrichnosis or whatever the hell that disease is. Can't even think of it. that are just really hairy. We've all seen them at the beach going, what the hell? What the hell? I mean,
what is the razor budget in that household?
Exactly. And I don't hypertrichosis. There we go.
Close. Trichnosis sounds cooler though.
Oh yeah, trichnosis. What the hell? Sorry, I haven't thought about that. But we did a MonsterQuest episode, and I was curious. I was really excited about it because I wanted to do strength tests for their weight because they were amazing gymnasts, and it was almost like recidivism. The gene that makes them hairy could be not a disease, but more of a gene that was just kind of dormant. Just like a lot of humans are born every year with tails. You don't hear about it, but there's a lot of people born with tails. Did you know that, Scott?
That's true.
Look it up. I think it's like 1 out of 10,000 births they have a tail.
I would have a much better wardrobe if I had a tail.
Yeah, there you go. Bill, you don't have a tail, do you?
He's not talking, I can tell.
He's not talking. He's laughing because he's like, maybe I have a tail. No, you don't have a tail, Bill. I can. Anyhow, it's one of those. It's one of those genes that maybe just even autism could be just a survival gene.
Speaking of autism, I had a clip somebody had uploaded to the Untold Radio Network where I talked about my theories of Sasquatch possibly having autistic or being on the spectrum traits. And that's how I found your show. And that thing got like 196,000 views just sharing that. And I was like, we need to talk to Doug. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. I've witnessed it myself, autistic behavior. The first time I really, really witnessed it was at a cabin way off the beaten path. It was about 11 miles down a logging road, and it was right bordered on the Boundary Waters canoe area, right? And so we rented it, and middle of the night, I hear the lid of the glass. There was a recycling bin, one for tin cans and one for glass on the porch. And I hear the lid, the lid just pop open. It's not a spring. You have to push down and it pops open over and over and over again. And then it goes over and opens the lid on the can one with the aluminum cans in it over and over. Like we're talking 10 times on both. And then it walked down, played with the Velcro on a Dodge Ram on the Velcro tonneau cover. And then walked back up and did the glass one again and did the other one over and over and over.
Yeah,
and
repetition, man.
And that preluded the wall attack that I mentioned that felt like a semi-truck hit it. And I regretted, of course, my daughter, bless her heart, had made me tape up a blanket with duct tape, with gray duct tape, this blanket over this open window that had no shade because, there's nobody lives out there. It's in the middle of the forest. So why would you need curtains? Well, she wanted curtains because we had heard a Bigfoot scream that afternoon while we were unpacking into the bringing our gear into the cabin. We all heard this massive scream right by us. And so she's like, Dad, do you see that window? You're going to put a blanket over that window. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll find one. And
I think it's going to stop it from coming in.
No, but she didn't want to see. She didn't want to see.
That's crazy.
And that thing was right by that window numerous times when it was doing those things. And so I'm like, okay, do I peel that tape away? And I've got my daughter with me and scare this thing. And then it puts its hand through the window like in The Legend of Boggy Creek. Or do I just let sleeping dogs lie and hope it'll go away? And so I didn't do anything. I didn't look. I've missed numerous opportunities where I know I've had a Bigfoot right next to me out a window and just either too afraid to look or too smart to look. One of the two. Bill, okay, so Bill, let me throw this at you. You're in a cabin, you know there's a Bigfoot out there, there's a curtain, you can just pull it open, and you know it's right there. Are you doing it, or are you just going to let it? Yes or no?
Oh, for sure, I'm looking at it. For sure.
You are? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't live with myself. Not.
So see, I can't live with myself. That's why I need to go see a psychiatrist now. Because I've passed up 2, 3, 4 opportunities to just open the window and look. But when you're in that situation, you're also thinking, well, if I move the curtain, what if it sees that and then it gets PO'd?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's used to that pattern, and now I can't see in the window.
And all of a sudden, I look and we're face to face. Do you think that's going to go over well? Being face to face with a Bigfoot, like 2 inches away from each other.
Maybe tell him he sounds like Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh yeah, I could do that. That would soothe him. Oh my God! Not only do you sound like Richard, I think you act like him too, Scott.
Well, we need to arrange a meeting. I must confirm.
Yes. Is he still around?
I think so. I don't know. Obviously, he's not as mainstream anymore, but he's still here.
He is. Okay. Yeah.
I believe so.
I'll get you his number. You can call him.
Now we're talking. Close encounters of the fifth kind.
Yeah. Okay. Am I the only one in chat? Do you think Scott sounds like Richard Dreyfuss when he was young? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Just say yes or no.
Yes.
That's a poll.
Jeff, do you think he does?
Yeah, I didn't until you said something, but yeah, I can hear that for sure.
That's
funny.
I didn't until you brought it to my attention. I like it.
Okay. Mr. Robbins says yes. We got one yes. So it's 2 now. So there you go. Oh, we got another one. Yes. We got another one.
We
Yep.
have confirmation.
He is Richard in disguise. Yes. There you go.
Good Lord, it's unanimous.
Yeah, well, there's I think a lot more people with they're still coming in. Another one from Kenny. Yes.
I was thinking more Burt Reynolds, but that's fine. It's cool.
No, it's not Bert. It's Richard.
Even better.
Oh God. No, I'd say it's like exact. It's kind of freaky, actually. Freaking me out. It says
Let's
yes.
do a whole other episode on that.
Bruce Brown says yes, he is his son.
Bruce, the man, the myth, the legend.
Coolest Bigfoot story from Michigan. I'm not sure what he means. Is there the coolest big? Oh, he wants to hear the coolest Bigfoot story from Michigan. Scott,
like a personal one.
No,
Yeah.
It could be just one you've heard.
The best Bigfoot one that I heard in Michigan was it flipping someone's canoe on the Asable River back in the 70s. This wasn't one that was documented in the BFRO. This is where you're going to the local coffee shop and the old timers that have lived there forever talk about it, that sort of thing. And he had just said that there was a bunch of drunk kids or something going through an area where Sasquatch are known to inhabit, and the Sasquatch didn't like it, and it got in the water, and they heard something swim up behind it when they just saw like these hairy arms just push the canoe over. And I'm like, I could see it happening. Like I said, that's just kind of like one of those ones that the old timers would talk about. But yes, Mayo, Michigan is very much a Sasquatch hotspot, so nothing like that would surprise me. There's a lot of untamed backwaters and stuff out there.
That was kind of a short story, Scott.
Yeah, that's all I heard.
You wonder why they do that, though. Are they making too much noise, drinking beer, you know?
That's what I'm guessing. I mean, because the Sable River in the summertime is a massive tourist attraction for northern Michigan. So naturally, you're going to get your people who want to relax and just tube down the river, and you're going to get your people that want to party on. And I think that it even gets to be too much for the animals. And Sasquatch, especially, the alpha males out there are going to definitely get upset at something like that.
Yeah.
Any other stories you've heard, you guys? Bill, do you have a story you want a favorite Bigfoot encounter story? It doesn't have to be yours. Just one you've heard that sticks with you and haunts you?
It's got to be the one over by Holy Hill there, and
Oh.
the Dogman encounter there. Those are the two big ones. I've heard so many, I just can't think of any other ones. Usually, when I'm listening to these reports on YouTube or whatever, very seldom do I hear any from Wisconsin. So
We've heard quite a few stories from Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin's got the Beast of Bray Road. They got a big one out there.
yeah, that's about 50 miles from this church and kind of halfway in the middle between where I live. But I know I used to drive down to Oklahoma a lot, and God, they really. I know you had the guy on last week, red-third cryptids, and I've heard so many encounters down there in Oklahoma, and Michigan too. I mean, they're everywhere. Illinois is like fourth on the BFRO for all the reports, but they're really everywhere, I guess.
And if you go by documented reports, I mean, that's just documented. How many people just don't want the ridicule that comes with reporting what they see and what they hear, you know?
Yeah.
Now, here's a good question from Tristan. What does Scott and Bill think of Dogman?
Dogman is definitely out here. I have zero doubts. I don't dabble with Dogman too much as far as actively getting in the field, but I do research that more like from a historical perspective. And I mean, the first Dogman sighting here goes back to 1887 in Wexford County. The only reason that the attention was even brought to Dogman was because Steve Cook, a DJ in Traverse City, had wrote a song for Halloween about this, about Dogman, and they called in, and people started calling him with their reports, and he just wrote it as a joke. Right. And ever since then, it's taken off. I couldn't tell you what it is. It seems more engineered to me than anything else, because they seem to be more on a programmed sort of behavior. Sasquatch is more capable of intelligent decision making. So I really don't know what they are to be able to tell you. I have one that I caught a picture of during a Bigfoot hunt, but even looking at it, it's like, why is there a 9-foot dog on 2 back legs standing up? You know, I don't know where to go to further my research on Dogman. There's a lot of dead ends with it.
I don't know where they fit in, but boy, I've sure met a lot of witnesses. I gave lie detector tests to a bunch of them, and I think they all passed. One was just inconclusive, but they all passed.
Bill, what are your thoughts on Dogman?
I don't know. It's just like a pretty recent thing that's come up in the last, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
We've heard
that's recent to you, Bill?
Relatively recent.
What the hell?
Relatively recent. But it seems like they're just coming out of the woodwork, the reports and the encounters, and this area everywhere. Ohio, Michigan.
It does seem like that's on the rise. I just wasn't very interested in Dogman. But boy, we've had some credible stories, really, really credible stories that are hard to discount.
Do you want to see a Dogman, Scott?
Absolutely.
You do?
I'll be sure to bring the bacon strips along, and we'll see what happens.
Bill, do you want to see a Dogman?
Sure.
I would.
See it all.
I mean, if we're out here, we already know the risks associated with looking for these things. So, I mean, whatever comes with it as a researcher, that's just part of the territory. We can only take our precautions the best we can, but if it's your time, it's your time. You know, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember that, though, when you're scared out of your mind in the woods, but you're
like, I'm not making it out of here anyway, so.
Yeah.
Easy to say here, right?
Well, I think the scariest encounters are the ones where you don't even see what's terrifying you. You know, it's they're playing the mind games just out of sight, late at night, paralleling you, throwing sticks just enough to let you know that you're not the only one out here, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So what's this? Squatch Mama goes, and there's a legendary spotted cow appearing everywhere.
I know what she's talking about.
Is she talking about the beer?
Yeah, spotted cow's a beer.
Geez, I have a case of that in my refrigerator.
It's good stuff. You got to go to Wisconsin to get it. You can't
And
get it outside of Wisconsin.
Guy brought me a case of it, and it's been at the condo
Good stuff.
in the fridge all this time.
Larrysburg.
And me and Eric had one each.
It's good stuff.
Me and Eric had each a spotted cow, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still sitting there. Jeff's got your name on it.
I have to come visit pretty soon.
Bill's gonna stock up on them for us.
Yeah, I can do that. I can send them to you.
So
Yeah,
see,
good
I'm
stuff.
not
A lot of good beer in
stupid.
Wisconsin.
I'm not stupid. I knew spotted cow. And yeah, the whole cryptid mystery isn't going away. That's what I tell people. It's being fueled constantly. The Dogman sightings are fueled. Bigfoot sightings are fueled all the time. But yet, I know we're not getting unicorn reports. We're not getting all sorts of, reports of other mythical things, but we are Dogman and Bigfoot. So then they're not going to go away. When was the last time you took a unicorn report? Never.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I got to go get that notebook out of my drawer.
Yeah, shut up.
The unicorn notebook? Yeah. All your
Unicorn.
listings.
It's even got the
sound-
sparkly cover to stay in character.
But that's my argument. It's like the Bigfoot is just fueled like every day. I often wonder how many real sightings happen every day. I'm sure it's in the hundreds and hundreds.
How many do you
day.
think is the U.S. population alone of Bigfoot? Doug?
Oh, at least
Actually,
4.
all you guys can share however you think are here.
Yeah, at least 4,000 or 5,000. It's my guess. At least that would be the minimum, 4,000 to 5,000. And from there, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody told me 80,000, I would go, okay. There we go. There's the news. There's
Had to
the
show a
spotted
picture.
cow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
have it.
everybody knows what we're talking
I have
about.
that exact case in my refrigerator, and there's 2 beers missing out of it. It's been there for 2 months.
It's
and
definitely
it's-
good stuff. It's a
and
great
it's
brewery.
delicious.
Okay.
So if you get through Wisconsin, bring me a case of spotted cow,
Okay.
because some year that one's going to be gone. I don't know when. What the hell are we talking about? I don't even
I don't know. I'm
remember.
thinking about beer.
Oh,
I got
populations.
beer.
Yeah. So like here, Bruce
Yes,
says around 200,000.
Oh,
He
man.
could absolutely be right though, because
I think that's reasonable. I mean,
I do.
how many babies do they have at a time? How rapidly do they grow? I mean,
We're
there's so
talking
many
in North
factors.
America, right?
Yeah.
It's a big area, but how many black bears do we have in Minnesota? 20,000 about. But I think populations have been as high as 38,000 black bears in Minnesota. But do I think that's the real number? No, I think there's 50,000 black bears in Minnesota. I think the numbers we're hearing are complete BS.
Well, they
Cougars,
say
I'll
that,
bet you we have
Yeah.
10,000 cougars in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Minnesota DNR, I don't think is on top of the right.
They're
numbers.
just all BS. I know we have way more cougars, in the area.
Are they still saying we don't have any? I mean, up until very recently, they were still maintaining that we didn't have any.
I have gone to towns, whole towns, and just invited like the whole town to come to be interviewed for whatever reason. And I'll say, have you ever seen this? A bear? No. Seen a Bigfoot? Yes. Next. You ever seen a bear? No. Bigfoot? Yes. You know what I mean? Even the town of Cougar in Washington, I interviewed the entire town. Nobody had ever seen a cougar. Everybody had seen a Bigfoot at one time or another in the town of Cougar. But nobody had ever seen a cougar. Not one person in the town said, yeah, I've seen a cougar. Everybody had seen a Bigfoot at one time or another. So there you go. And that's kind of shocking information, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Now I got a question. Of course I do, right? How could I not have another?
Well,
question?
Richard would, yes. Richard, go ahead.
All right.
Proceed.
Let's, just for the sake of discussion, these things are of supernatural origin. Does that
Sure.
completely change the playing field?
Wait, Richard, I love the way you frame stuff. Really, it's a very healthy way. You really do a good job there. And I do want to compliment you on that for sure. The Richard stuff's not really a compliment. You think it is, but it's not.
I can listen. I can live with that.
But
That's fine.
the way you frame things is, because I like the way you do it. You do it in a very open way. You're not pushing theories on people. You're not saying you're right. You just like to entertain. So go ahead and ask your question. I'm sorry, I interrupted you to compliment you. I regret
that's
it.
fine.
No, go ahead.
If these things are all supernatural, does that change the course of the research game? I mean, if we take them as flesh and blood, it stays pretty much where we're at with it now, I think. But if we throw in supernatural, now origin changes, timeline might change. I mean, it might throw a monkey wrench in things a bit.
Yeah. How would it change it? I guess we'd have to use different tools. We'd have to use things like trimeters and, Geiger counters and, RF meters and all that kind of crap. We'd be trying to get EVPs and, basically the same stuff they use for ghosts, because there's really not a lot new in that front. I don't follow ghost shows. I don't know. Maybe there is some new stuff. Mirrors. I mean, there just would be a lot of new things that you'd have to try. And you could be absolutely right. I've witnessed so many things that just kind of make you scratch your head going, oh, what? And, we've had other things that we've seen. I was driving back with Yvette down 35W, a regular big freeway coming through Moose Lake. We saw something just drop down out of the sky on a clear night, and it just headed for my windshield. And as it got closer, we both described something that had wings that were as wide as the freeway, looked humanoid, and it swooped at my car for a purpose to scare the living crap out of us. She ducked, and I eventually ducked too. So we thought it was coming through the windshield. What was that?
Where does that come from, though? Where
exactly.
Winged humanoids. I mean, come on now. I can't even find a starting point, let alone a place to start researching from.
And that haunts us, Scott. It really does. It haunts us because we know what we saw, but yet it doesn't fit in any flesh and blood category. It doesn't fit with deer and bears or even Bigfoot. It's just way out there,
That was the hardest part for me, was like, I see you right there, but you're not supposed to be real.
Yeah.
Trying to process that at first is like, okay. Now, has everything ever been taught a lie at this point? Which, to a degree, I think we're at a point where that's a yes, but
Shelley just made a great comment that's relevant too. Is I if I see something like that, my first instinct would be to doubt myself. I would question myself first. That's kind of what Shelley was just saying. Shelley,
well, you do, but when you have a witness with you, if I would have been alone, for sure I would have. But with a witness and the kind of trauma that we both went through, nope, we didn't question it, and I don't. What I do question is, what was it? Was it as big as we perceived it? What was its purpose? Was it an illusion that we both saw? Some kind of not a hologram, but like, I don't know. I don't even know where to put it. Just some kind of a spiritual experience. Or was it just at that time a flesh and blood creature? But it dived at my car. With no other purpose. It must have tried to scare us. But I found other people that thing had done the same thing to, right in Minnesota. Right?
Every state seems to have kind of its own thing and its own sort of style of encounters, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But where do I put that? I don't know. It's still hanging out there. I don't know. It's sitting on my desk, that experience. I don't know what to do with it.
Does a winged humanoid classify as a cryptid?
I wouldn't classify it as a cryptid. I'd classify it more as an alien.
So now we're moving into extraterrestrial life and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it had wings. Okay, it had wings, but they were outstretched and dropped straight down. So that defied physics.
Like the Jeepers Creepers thing, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly what it looked like. But it dropped straight down with open wings and then did a right angle and headed for my windshield without flapping its wings. So,
man.
Yeah, it was scary. To this day, I mean, it's affected Yvette in a great way. Like, if we got to drive in the woods at night, it ain't happening. She's not going with me.
Back to what Doug said about Scott, the way you framed that question. And that's just, this is a little bit of a tangent, but that's why we really embrace the unverified crap, because we're not, my identity is not attached to any one theory. Neither is Doug's. Yeah. If I find out that, you know what, this is 100% supernatural, okay, it's not gonna hurt my reputation. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna feel stupid. It is what it is. So we're extremely open-minded, and I don't know. We just listen to people, talk to them. We hear some interesting stories. Some are really credible. Lots of I should say lots are really credible.
Yeah.
And but I agree with Doug. I like how you framed that question, because we don't know.
Well, like Tristan's asking, do you think it was I don't know. It had like leathery, shiny skin to it. Didn't have feathers. I thought Mothman was covered with some kind of feathers. It looked more like a bat, a humanoid with bat wings. But I'm not alone. I mean, I found tons of people that saw the same thing. It's going on in Chicago right now. Mm-hmm. Lon Strickler has been collecting tons of reports of the same exact creature all around the O'Hare airport. You know, even baggage handlers are seeing it. The scary part is, though, that thing swooped out of the sky really quick. And could you imagine walking alone along that same stretch of highway? Would you be here anymore, or would you become a missing person? Or was it intention only to scare us? Or was it intention was only to say hello?
Because it depends on how many spotted cows I had first.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't Richard getting witty as the night goes on? He just keeps getting wittier and wittier.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, you're welcome. I know that there could be a million reasons why it swooped. But here's what happened. I called my agent. And I said, you remember that Mothman show you wanted me to do on MonsterQuest? And I refused to do it because there was no physical evidence. I told my agent what we and Yvette saw, and I said, I'll do it. So I agreed to do that episode only because I, at that point, didn't think they were BS anymore. So I did the show and found other witnesses. I was surprised how many witnesses I found, including a father and son, literally due south where we saw ours, had it swoop at their car. The only difference is they pulled over and were throwing up. They got sick. Nice hand, by the way, Bill. That was nice.
Sorry, I was just turning down
the whole world now is
high five in the camera.
Yeah, the whole world now is seeing your calluses.
My fingerprints, yeah.
Yeah, your fingerprints. Only stuff like this happens in live shows. We love it. Anyhow.
What was your favorite episode of MonsterQuest, Doug?
I don't know. I don't really have one. The one that was done. After I got them done, there was so much work, and then you get them done. That was my favorite. Yeah, it was always.
So basically, all of them after they were complete.
After they were complete, they were all my favorite. Okay. Yes, I loved them all, and they all, the ones that were the least were things like that I felt I was bullied into making. Were things like chimps attacking, killer chimps and shows like that that were non-cryptozoology related. The squid I enjoyed, and the shark, the shark thing I enjoyed because we had a chance to do a lot of, cool exploring, and we ended up filming like the first Greenland shark in freshwater. in the St. Lawrence, way upstream, almost in Illinois, right above
Okay.
Illinois. That was cool. Anytime we could do that, but they were all great except the ones that I didn't want to do, which were the chimp. Even the bear one I didn't really want to do because I don't think of bears as monsters. If you know
I
what
tell
I
you
mean.
what one scared the hell out of me was the huge gators in the sewer one possibility.
Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, probably that wasn't my favorite one.
Yeah.
But my brother used to tell me there's gators in the sewer, and he would tell me these stories when I was a kid. The alligators that would turn white and they'd live in the sewers because I was a sewer explorer when I was a kid. We would go into the sewer in the in the freshwater, the drainage sewers, which were quite big. And I had maps of the entire area, and I went definitely subterranean. And I would introduce my friends to this subterranean world.
Did anybody in suits ever knock on the door?
No, I
and ask-
never saw anything weird in those sewers, but man, we could sure get around secretly. And in the wintertime, the water would freeze and you could propel yourself through these tunnels, really quick because it was
That
just
actually sounds really cool.
smooth glare ice because there's no wind. When the ice would freeze, it would be just the coefficient would be so low you could just poosh. You could travel really fast in the wintertime in these sewers. And yeah, I think about it now, I would never even go down in one. But yeah, that was kind of a big thing for us, the sewers. And the more I think about it, the more I have nightmares. Yeah. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Okay. Any questions for these guys? Bill, you can just butt in, you can just start teasing Scott on my behalf if you want.
On his behalf, so you're home free.
Yeah. Do you have any teasing you'd like to give Scott?
Well, we want to maybe hear something from Jaws from Mr. Dreyfus.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know any of the lines?
I don't right off, not offhand. It's been probably 30 years since I watched Jaws.
Yeah. You need to watch it again. And you need to repeat every line. No, I'm telling you, your voice is like exact.
He needs a voiceover.
And your smile, swear to God. I think you guys are freaking related.
I mean, it wouldn't be all bad.
No.
Maybe an interesting dude to talk to.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, super. He was definitely, I thought, one of the best actors out there. And he did Close Encounters too, right? Yeah. He was great in that movie. It was awesome.
That was one of my favorite extraterrestrial contact movies of all time because I really think he did a great job of getting a lot of the details down of what a lot of the victims of abduction and stuff talk about.
So
like,
now
he really was true to life on that to a degree.
Right, but let's talk about the new one, the Disclosure movie.
Oh boy.
I went and saw that, was all pumped up, and it was the biggest pile of steaming crap I had ever seen in my life for a film. It was basically 2 hours of a chase scene with a guy with a thumb drive. Really?
We can just watch The Bourne Identity.
It was 2 hours of not only the chase scenes, but not even good chase scenes, of a guy with a fancy thumb drive that had all the alien disclosure crap, and one scene of a newscaster who kind of acted like an alien. That was it. They missed the entire boat on that whole movie. And
Was there anything good that they captured? That
nothing, zero. I'd give that movie a -20 out of if you had a rating of 10, it would be a -20. It was that bad.
Good Lord. We need to reverse create that movie.
Especially when you consider who did it, right? And the great movies he did once.
Yeah.
I don't know who talked him into a 2-hour chase scene, but if you like that movie, I'm sorry, then you like the Marvel movies too. Where it's just constant crazy cars blowing up and crap like that. And this is not me. I like stories. I'm a story guy, and there was no story in the movie. They couldn't even get oh my God. And they're government agents, pictures like a whole bunch of government agents in one scene. And the guy's hiding with his girlfriend behind a stick tree, a sapling. And I'm thinking, and the government agents are like 20 feet away. And I'm thinking, this is like the biggest pile of garbage movie I've ever seen.
Just like 70% of the shootouts in the TV shows and the movies, like you guys are unloading full magazines at like 15 feet. Nobody's connecting with anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like, are you serious right now?
Yeah. So needless to say, I thought it was horrible. Yeah. So I'd give it, just
what about
terrible marks.
Signs? I thought Signs was fantastic.
Signs was one of my favorite movies because it's a great story. It was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, and that was
It was a slow burn in the best way.
It was a slow burn. It was a great movie. The genius of the scene with the mirror or the knife reflection, looking at the alien and seeing that was brilliant.
It really was.
And it wasn't really high budget, but the whole story was great. It was fun. It was entertaining. It had comedy in it. It was some real serious drama. It was a great movie. I'd give that 10 out of 10. Signs. There were other movies that I liked on the topic. Not many. I thought the Fire in the Sky was a good movie with.
Was that Travis Walton?
Based on Travis Walton with D.B. Sweeney as the actor.
Yep.
And it's funny because I became friends with D.B. Sweeney.
I thought you were going to say D.B. Cooper. I was like, oh
no, D.B. Sweeney. He played Travis in the movie, and because he narrated my series Mysterious Encounters, and he was so great. He was so cool to work with because you could call him up in the middle of the night and he'd pick up and he'd get to a studio if I needed something at the studio. Never bitched. He was awesome to work with, D.B. Sweeney. And then I became friends with another actor in the movie. I met him buying a car, which is a long story. But anyhow, we became good friends. So I ended up meeting two of the guys that were in that movie and, ended up actually kind of hanging out with these guys. So it was fun. That was a great movie. Fire in the Sky. Love it. If you haven't seen it.
The Fourth Kind. I really liked The Fourth Kind too. Where all the abductions were taking place in Nome, Alaska.
Oh, yeah. The owls. There were the owls.
The owls, yeah.
That was just creepy. Yeah, that was good. I mean, for what they spent in the movie.
Yeah.
It was a little disappointing. I expected a little more at the end, but it was a good movie. Yes, I agree. It definitely was creepy. It had a very high creep level. But there's not one Bigfoot movie I like. Not one.
No.
I would
The
love
only one I liked was relatively something. I can't remember. His last name was Ford, and it was called Something in the Woods. It's like set in the 60s where this boy catches a Sasquatch on the farm. And he chases him home, and the dad doesn't believe him.
Let me write that down. I want to. I haven't seen it. What's it called?
Something in the Woods.
Something in the Woods.
Actually, let me look it up real quick.
Boy, the newest Bigfoot movie that Doug and I went and saw in the theater.
Oh God, that was Sunset.
Doug fell asleep.
I fell asleep in 5 minutes.
And then I woke him up and we left before it was over. It was so bad. I wasn't gonna let him sleep, and I'm like, no, we got to get that guy out of here. That movie was terrible.
I was out like a light. Yeah. It's terrible. Yeah, and I think we went with Adam, didn't we?
Yeah, it was me, you, and Adam. Adam Cole.
And you and Adam watched that whole piece of crap.
No, Adam stayed. You and I left. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
We woke up and I'm like, let's get out of here.
Oh, we went over to Sammy's Pizza.
Yeah. Adam stayed. We're like, no.
Yeah, Hearing the Hendersons was a good movie. It was well produced. It was
absolutely
fun.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. Yeah.
Didn't they make a series after that too with the same cast for a little while?
Letters from the Big Man was interesting, but it was a little too.
Saw that.
There wasn't much content to that.
Scott, I don't know about to answer your question, Scott. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
You could be right. I'm just not familiar with
Bill,
it.
are you a movie fan or no?
More or less, I like the real stuff, the documentary stuff, the
okay.
sci-fi and that stuff. I'm not really into
You're not
that
really
much.
a movie fan. Okay. Can we see the palm of your hand again? Thank you. That's good. I'm just giving you guys crap.
I love it. You're funny.
That's the point, man. That's the
I'm
point.
in that mood today. I don't know why. I think I had too much sleep. I get
Too much
streaky.
sleep.
I get streaky when I get like I like to play practical jokes on people when I get too much sleep for some reason. I can't.
Wrong with that.
I just become like the smart ass. And
Your
Yvette,
brain's operating at full capacity.
yeah,
for a
Yvette
change.
goes, "You're streaky today." I'm like, well, hey.
Oh, there, Tristan answered your question. So they did make a TV show, but none of the human cast returned.
Oh, okay. See, no John Lithgow. It's a no
I did
for
not
me.
know that.
Oh,
But that was a fun movie. I enjoyed it.
yeah, the Ancient Alien documentaries are good. After you've seen one, though, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
If I hear the narrator go, what's his line?
Ancient astronaut.
Is it
theory.
possible? Is it possible? The narrator says all the time. And what if?
According to ancient aliens theorists, yeah, that's how they answer everything.
Yeah, it's like really they have these little. It's like it's too formula driven, and I don't really like formula driven things that they
Agreed.
go
Yeah.
like this. What's that? Oak Island? Is it Oak
Yeah.
Island?
The Curse of Oak
I'm
Island,
thinking,
yeah.
look, if you watched beyond 2 episodes, I actually pity you a bit. If you watch beyond 2 episodes of that, maybe even Skinwalker Ranch, you go beyond 3 episodes of that after they start launching skyrockets in the air, and it's the same tri-field meter in every show, and I'm kind of like, this episode's kind of just like this one and this one and this one. There's no variety. There's no creative thinking. It's just
The formula.
relying on a formula, the
Agreed.
exact formula. I never thought that way. You know,
I like UFO Hunters. That was a decent one.
that was
back
pretty
in the
good.
day.
Yeah, they at least traveled to different spots, and they did. It was always a new spot, and I thought some of their stuff, was pretty good. Some of it was kind of formula driven, but they at least went to new areas, investigated new cases, and they did try. Like I remember them thinking. I think they used LiDAR radar on the site in Texas of that 1924 UFO crash.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't remember, but they used LiDAR at the graveyard, where they said the townspeople buried the
Early
alien.
groundbreaking stuff for that time.
So Kenny goes, I couldn't handle Oak Island. Oak Island, it's like, yeah, it's kind of good, but you gotta have to be kind of gullible thinking, because each episode they end it with a new toothpick they found. And so you're almost, it's like, I guess being in the TV business, I knew the trick, and I'm like, yeah. It's like,
Well, it's such an interesting topic. It's such a
it is.
story,
I agree, and that's what
but
they
keep dragging it out. And
drag it out.
TV,
Isn't it still going? It's still going, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean they gotta fill out a schedule.
It's
they gotta
like,
fill out a season.
I always,
Material.
I don't mean to offend anybody, but if you watch that show,
right,
you're a
guys.
very gullible person, because
Yeah.
you've fallen into their manipulation.
What about Blind Frog Ranch? What do you think of that one?
I have not seen it.
Okay.
It's got to be better than Skinwalker. And once again, the formula for Skinwalker is fine, but you can't drag it on forever just because it's a popular show. You can't do that if you have any integrity. You just can't keep saying the same crap over and over and over again. There's no integrity. You know what I mean? It'd be like me doing a MonsterQuest episode on squid, looking for a giant squid like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 times. At some point people are going to go, what? And then there's other people who go, oh my God, did you ever see that giant squid show? It's over. And they get used to that same routine, because some people love the repeatability. They look forward to the same formula. Maybe it's a way to relax. I don't know. But I just personally would never produce crap like that.
Yeah.
It's just not my style. But yeah. Doug, make a Snow Grove series. Yeah. Yeah, we'll always be this close to getting the images of Bigfoot. Always that close.
Yeah.
We'll leave it with a cliffhanger every episode.
Next season
Next season.
on Snow Grove.
Yes. Next season we'll hint at
And then we
Adam
got to
gets
cancel
eaten.
it without any notice. And so
Oh.
the fans are like, when's the next season coming out?
Yeah, exactly. So I just, yeah, I have a bone to pick with some of those shows. And I'm like, if you do want a couple of creative ideas, I can get you through at least some new stuff, but because it's the same thing. I was like, 10 years have gone by and they're still launching rockets in the air.
What do you think they should have done at Skinwalker that they didn't do, Doug?
At Skinwalker?
Yeah. That could have taken it from just a redundant firing rockets into
the first thing you would take Richard Dreyfuss and you would tie them to a pole and put honey all over them and leave them there for
I'm
about
doing that as Richard
2 to
Dreyfuss.
3 weeks.
I'm tying them to the pole.
Yeah,
correct?
you would do that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, let's give it a go.
I've got some ideas,
It's
but
gotta be better than Skinwalker.
You're dealing with probably paranormal. Once you've established and said it's paranormal, what really can you do beyond a couple of nights investigation?
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything great. Anything you're going to get that's going to be really amazing, you're just going to exaggerate it, and that's just
I think when it was a Bigelow era Skinwalker Ranch is when it was its most fascinating. Because he was so
but it was
secretive about
discovery.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they were still in the process of discovering some of the new stuff. And now it's just kind of the same repeat of the old stuff.
They're just collecting money off the same ideas.
I like how somebody's calling me during the show. Who is it? I don't know.
Is it Richard Dreyfuss?
It is actually. It's Bill's mother telling him he needs to get to bed.
It's Will. Sorry, Mom. I'll be there shortly.
Oh my God. All right. Let's wind this up. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. It was just fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we'll never have you on again, Bill, but we're going to definitely have Scott. No, I'm joking.
Thanks. It was really fun for me.
We're just
glad to have
no. If anything happens out there, Bill, definitely come on back on because you can always come on for like 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
And just give us an update on your little. I love that stuff. Give us an update if something weird happens. I'll have you on. Even you don't have to sit here for the whole damn show.
Unless you want
for
to.
sure.
Unless you want to.
You should, because I'm going to come up with the Dreyfuss method of research.
Yes, the Dreyfuss, which involves something to do with fish guts, probably, and chum.
I mean, Bigfoot likes fish. We'll see what happens.
It could happen. But no, you guys are both a joy to have on. We really appreciate it. Let's do our wisdom. So hang tight, everybody.
Yep. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. We don't have to conquer the wild. We only have to respect it enough to share the world with wild things. Living beside bears, cougars, wolves, coyotes, and maybe even Bigfoot takes respect, not fear. Give them space, remove food temptations, protect pets, learn their behavior, and never treat a wild animal or any living creature like a tourist attraction. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
Did you guys notice that very realistic Bigfoot in the middle of that one?
The detail was absolutely incredible.
It was amazing, isn't it? You could hardly tell it from real.
I saw some eye shine personally.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like people had we had kind of a different show tonight. So
it was fun.
It's fun talking about movies like these.
And you were still covering all the weird stuff too, so it's great.
Well, Bill, he's like, nah, I don't watch any movies.
Bill's like, the only weird thing is me.
Yeah. Well,
or Richard,
but I think we covered ground, and I finally got to say how much I disliked Disclosure Day. I really thoroughly disliked it.
Did anybody platform.
Did anybody else see Disclosure Day? I didn't hear. I don't think anybody has in chat.
I thought about it, but now that you told me how much of
please save your money.
It is.
Save your money. It's going to be on.
I haven't heard.
It'll be on Netflix quicker than you can say Amazon.
I have a lot of friends who are movie nerds and sci-fi nerds, and I don't think I know of anybody that enjoyed it. It was just universally panned.
I loved Close Encounters. Yes,
Oh,
that was a
absolutely.
great movie. Yeah, I loved it. Actually, enjoyed
Absolutely.
every second of it. Although you got a little the whole journey to the mountain was a little bit drawn out. I would have kind of maybe sped that up a bit, to get up to the Devil's Tower thing.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
All right.
Jeff wants to go. By the way, there's a new episode of what's that dragon? The HBO dragon.
Game of Thrones?
That's the spinoff, the dragon one.
Oh,
House of Dragons.
House of Dragon.
Yeah. I'm getting tomatoed in the back because Yvette wants to go watch an episode of House, the newest one that just dropped tonight of House of Dragons. So with that, we love you all. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you.
Yes.
With pleasure.
And it was really, it was fun. Thank you so much, Scott. You have my number, Scott. If you need anything, God, let me know.
Absolutely, will do.
And thank you, Jeff. Yeah. And thank to our amazing audience tonight.
Best. We have the best.
We appreciate
audience.
it. And by the way, just so you know, Facebook wouldn't let me post the show anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, they just go, certain shows that'd be my one word that'll trigger Facebook. And they just nope, that's just doesn't meet community guidelines.
Ridiculous.
It's like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's kind of weird. They don't tell you why. Okay, it'd be fine if you told us why. But anyhow, I'm on a rant tonight. I had too much sleep. I'm going to try to get less sleep tonight. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night,
all.
everyone.
Good night.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Absolutely.
Night, everyone.
Call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head on home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait if ever you should be